Engage. On screen. On screen.
What the hell is going on?
Engage. I want all the power you can give me.
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
Not good enough, damn it! Not good enough!
Any idea of what it is or where it came from?
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
This is no longer amusing.
They seem normal enough.
I shouldn't be so confident.
Make it so.
I would rather outthink them than outfight them.
Engage. On screen. Let's investigate.
Enlarge and identify.
I shouldn't be so confident.
Engage!
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
I want all the power you can give me.
Strange.
Slow to impulse speed.
Stay calm, everyone.
What the hell is going on? I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
Stay calm, everyone.
Let's investigate. This is no longer amusing. Macro head.
Stay calm, everyone.
Slow to impulse speed.
I would rather outthink them than outfight them.
Engage!
Slow to impulse speed.
Strange.
Slow to impulse speed.
Not good enough, damn it! Not good enough!
They seem normal enough.
I'm not sure I have a specific recommendation.
Hey, my name's Rachel Antral. I play Commander Non on Star Trek Discovery. Welcome to Timeline Talks.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live in Technicolor from the beautiful Hollywood Hills, California. The show where the total retail price of their advice is $0. This is Timeline Talks. Featuring guest stars. The fact of the matter is, oh my, it's stars and garters. Also featuring, more like command dips suck, look out, it's Automaton 2000. And now, there's no way he gets this intro right. Here's your host, Captain Idol. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the most prestigious event in Star Trek Timeline's history. The #1 premium anticipated event of the year. The Timelines Talks Awards Show 2021.
Yes, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the premium exclusive #1 award show of the year. This is Timelines Talks, and we are back once again for our annual event that will wow and amaze everyone here. I am joined, as always, by my faithful companion Stars and Garters, and the pride, the glory, the eagle himself, Automaton 2000 is here, saluting his country.
Otherwise known as Maverick and Neo.
I was just going to say, this is Stars and Garters as Maverick from Top Gun, and it's Stevie Wonder as Captain Idol.
Hey man,
Listen,
easy like Sunday morning. It's
you know
right.
we are, in fact, the coolest of Star Trek hosts in all of Twitch, so just gonna say it, just there we are. Yes, welcome everybody. We have a packed lineup coming up for this year's awards show. Very first of all, I would like to thank each and every one of our community on Discord for voting on the community awards. We had 2 winners, we had thousands of votes, so thank you. Bajoran claps all round. Thank you for the change glasses. Bajoran claps all round for everyone that voted in those. So brilliant work, everybody there. And we do have some winners, which you will find out soon. How shall we start, gentlemen? Is there any pressing business we should address before we begin the gala itself?
I really want some cake. Do we have cake?
We have cake. That's in the it's in the green room.
Perfect. Okay.
I
yeah,
could only have
that
green
one.
frosting. That's what I requested. Just that's my thing.
That's fine. I'll make do.
To make sure they're doing a good enough job, and obviously bottles of pure spring water. Nothing else.
Yes.
Nothing else.
Thank you. As I requested, and bowls of M&Ms with all like the red ones taken out.
Yes. No, I've got my fruit pastels. It's fine. We're here.
Why don't you run down what folks can expect in the second half of the show, and then we'll jump right into the awards.
Yeah, so we were doing our award show, and then second half of the show, we were doing our usual Timelines Talk show, where we will be talking about the event winners. We'll be going through this week's event crew, Sukal Syrran, talking about the objective events, going over next week's event for Navaar and score Tchar, the coolest looking bird in the game. Talking about the new collection and the LTOs as well, and there's a few other little bits as well. So we will be having our usual show as normal, but we are going to have the Mega Cruise. The awards show first. And shall we kick off with the very first community-sponsored award? What do we reckon, gentlemen? Let's do it. Okay.
Could do that.
The first award is...
In the category of Most Useful Mega Crew After the Mega is Over, Sirach, Courier Burnham, Sojiasha, Barry Waddle,
So yes, this is our first community award, community vote. So congratulations to King Louis for being one of the finalists, 2 finalists we have for this award in this year. The most useful mega crew after the Mega is over. So we have, as you saw in the clip, we have Courier, Burnham, Sirac, Sojiasha, and Barry Waddle, and we have in this very envelope right here. Are you
going to do this thing again where you read every name out loud after I've just got to keep talking. Voiceover again?
If I don't keep talking, there'll be dead air. So guys, let's talk about this batch of crew and what this award means. So this is essentially the crew that you've kept running in your game longest after the fact, or the most useful, the one you're still using daily.
This is unrelated to anything, but like Syrran, I think he popped up on there, and I was like, man, that's really good in memoriam art, which I feel like is appropriate for his character. These are all pretty decent. I know that doesn't Datacore have a thing that tracks like a crew hall of fame of all the people who make the most voyages according to the Datacore calculator? I believe that Soji Asha tended to be at the very top of that list. And I can definitely see why. She's one of the few med crew we've gotten as a Mega. And I don't know if that Astrophysicist Mega was necessarily popular with people, but people certainly seem to use her a lot.
Am I allowed to spoil the results of the vote since they're already public on our Discord?
Well, let's just hold off. Let's just talk a little bit more about these first.
Go build the suspense, man.
Well, I mean, winner in this very envelope.
My prepared comments on the matter, directly follow the results
one
of
might say.
Okay, shall we go for the reveal now? Shall we have
Stars? I hate you for completely discarding fact of the matter from your vocabulary. Like, it was a little bit of affectionate joshing. You could definitely bring it back.
We had one best of video and you lose the whole thing. It's terrible. That was going to run
Guess
us for
what?
years.
That's what happens when you push it too hard. You push it too hard, and now that happens.
That's right. I'm sure one of us says something. Okay, let's do a reveal. The reveal the community picked as their winner and it was Barry Waddle. What?
You colored it.
What? This is the Timeless Torch official results card. I've got how many of them? I've got about 20 of them down here. So all the different results. Barry Waddle is, of course, as voted by our community, the most useful Mega crew after the Mega is over. So
reluctant to pejorative applause on this one.
Very much so, and thank you, King Louis.
All right. I have to say, this definitely shows our viewership age, because it is a traveshamockery that Syrran didn't win this vote by a landslide. And if you were around when he came out, he was maybe a top 3 gauntlet card in the game, and he definitely had a top 5 voyage score. So, I mean, this was before Locutus has proficiencies buff. There's no Red Angel. There's no Caretaker. Like, it was Syrran.
Priamus as well, right? So he would have been the Command Psi King. Yeah.
It was Syrran, Locutus, and Mirjean Luke, and like those are your 3 big hitters. And obviously Great Voyager before they loaded up Command Psi. So this guy, would make your bed and pack your sandwich for work, and he was fantastic. So the fact that he was, like 3rd or something, I think people are going a little bit too down the line of current voyages, and
they don't know how good they've got it these days. They get NSEC med crew in their Megas nowadays. Back in our day, we had to scrimp and save for that shit.
Back in my day, we had to live off one command crew.
To be fair,
Barry is on our belt.
Barry is fantastic. Makes me think of Barry Manilow, and he's like one of like 3 Eng primaries we've had in the history. We had Ruafo, Janeway, and him, I think so.
It's the common tradition of the game putting out top cards based on crew that had about 1 or 2 scenes in the entire show. I think he had probably about 20 seconds on screen.
He's a legacy character. I feel like he gets a pass on that. And not to mention, it's a beloved episode. That's fine.
That's very true. Trials and Tribulations.
Speaking of that, Syrran was on screen for all of maybe 90 seconds. Yeah. I watched that episode recently for Syrran, who we'll get to later in the show. And he's in a flashback talking to Archer through his Katra. So he's on screen for not very long, and they don't...
Yeah, but it's like saying, Jesus Christ was only on screen for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like,
hey, man, I'm voting for Syrran. So.
You think we'll ever get TOS Syrran? Or maybe TOS Kalis? That'd be cool.
I wonder if that's... I mean, TOS Kalis might be a little bit of a problem, because wasn't he just in blackface?
Well, so are most Klingons of that era.
That's very true, actually. You're quite right. So, yeah, it's not the only questionable thing there. Okay.
All right, so since the community managed to muck up this vote so bad, we've rescinded your ability to vote for the rest of the evening. No, we will have a couple you can vote in chat, and we have one more from the Discord vote. So
we do. Okay, moving on to our next award.
In the category of Best Timelines Talks Guest Host, Picard Loves Reds, Shiaporn, Genocidanian, Low Cost Monkey,
So yes, we've had some absolutely fantastic guests on this year, and it was really hard to pick 4 of the best, because we limit ourselves to 4, and pick 4 of the best that we respected and liked having on. I mean, every one of our guests.
Yeah, the other ones we don't respect at all.
No,
they can go fuck themselves.
No. Also, have you got a list of everyone we've had on? Because we want to shout them all out, because they've all been fantastic.
first of all, I'm curious what name is in your Totally Not Beer of the Month Club card that you have inside that envelope.
Well, I'll
Wow, I
let
was
you know.
calling him straight out.
Is there a name in there, or?
There is some writing in there, yes.
Okay. No, I went back because I care about the little people. They may not. I care about El Marto, Genocidanian, Spocky Balboa, Big McLarge, Huge Nifty Mittens, Benny the Greek, Stellar Ice, Tsunkatse Siete, 701, Skycat, Plain Simple Garrick. Damn, you guys have all been on the regular show. And everyone else who joined us for various pack opening streams or the charity streams. Yeah. It really makes it feel like a full community effort. So thank you guys for joining us.
Absolutely.
And as always, they are all always funnier than us.
Every time.
Whenever we go back to the normal 3 of us, someone always asks us, when's the next guest coming on? We're like, thanks.
Who's the surprise this week? And we're just like, no, it's just us. Sorry.
That's us again. Sorry, bye. I do appreciate that the picture you chose for Shiaporn was him as absolute nerdiest in his Enterprise cosplay. That I appreciate quite a bit.
There were lots. I tried to get everyone doing something silly or sort of laughing, and I got Genos doing his hair flip impression, so I thought that was quite worth it. Always get people smiling. People like to be smiling. It brings a happy, positive energy. But no, these 4 in particular, I think, were some of our favourites. You know, just sort of good integration. We had Low Cost Monkey on fairly recently, and then sort of Genos has always been sort of like a mainstay of one of our moderators. And Picard Loves Reds, who came on fairly recently, has always been absolute delight. But Shiaporn as well has been sort of one of our favourites, sort of with his constant cosplays and his
interruptions.
Speaking of, actually, we do have a little segment of one of Shiaporn's best moments. So I'm just going to play that now. Does it have a time limit on it? Oh, hang on. Oh shit! Shiaporn with a steel chair has just come in.
There's a couple images in chat, by the way, of the
I'll
stills of that moment in the show. By the
Shy,
way,
what are you doing here? You're not due here for another few days.
Guy's here to dunk on the Borg Queen.
Not for you. Not for you. I'm just talking to the people online. Look, I'm running out the door. But I had to come in.
Someone's gonna
and say, in every show, in every movie, there's a master frame that the director puts into the movie or the episode. A frame that sums up the show. And in that episode of Picard, it's freaking Seven looking directly into the camera, eyes blacked out, hair flowing back like Drew Barrymore in Firestarter, green halo around her, screaming because her fellow Borg are being jettisoned into space. Sorry, posthumous spoiler alert, kids. You should have watched the episode by now. That's the frame. Not like Vanna White Borg Queen 7 standing there. Look at this beautiful Borg connection that you could have for the low price of 1,000 credits. Sorry. Just wanted to jump in. And say that. Our artist is amazing. The Timelines artist is amazing. If you've read the recent, Mirror War comic, Star Trek Mirror War comic, you know how much you should appreciate our Timelines. Star Trek Timelines artist.
Is that the same person who's doing that?
No, it is not. It's absolutely not.
Worst art
It's the opposite end of the spectrum. Our art is amazing, but this directorial choice is poor. Anyway, gotta run. Bye.
Love you.
Thank you for jumping in.
ciao.
Yeah, so that was Chai's. And now we shall reveal. If anyone lost,
I wonder who won. I wonder who won.
Well, let's
I like
find.
how he comes on with his glasses down at his nose like he's a disappointed father, and He's coming to spank some bottoms, you know.
For context, we were talking about the artwork for Ball Queen 7 in that episode, so if you want to talk about... So let me just reveal who our winner is. It is, in fact, all of our guests. Every single guest that has come on for our show. We love you all. We thank you all. So if anyone's thinking that's a cop-out, you are not invited next year. So let's...
I guess you're just not, like, big enough and strong enough to be one of our guests.
Let me just find my button. There we go. Right, next... sorry, I set everything to my stream deck. Next, which is a serious award. There's a serious award set by us, set to our committee.
They're all serious.
In the category of Best Artwork, Privateer Vash, Musketeer Data. Vote for Adam, you fucking Herbert. Fifth Dimension Invader.
I wonder who picked Vash to be in this award.
You motherfucker, how did you know I was going to be drinking when he said that line about Adam? What the fuck?
Thank you, Corbian, for following us. Thank you very much. Yes, this is going to be best artwork. But there's been some ups and downs with art this year, but we had to shout out the best of the best this year. And
yeah, we're starting on a high. We'll get to the lows later. Don't worry.
Guys, this is a stellar lineup. What do we think?
I can't help but think this is like the best cosplay contest at an MCM Expo, you know?
Yeah, Chet points out Flint probably would have made the cut if I hadn't
debuted
recorded
yesterday.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love all my children equally. That being said, if you didn't vote for Fifth Dimension Invader, I think you are actually insane.
Interesting. I have to go with
sumptuous art.
It is particularly striking, I will admit. But
like I look at him and I only go, yeah. See?
He doesn't even talk like that.
Chomp on
I know, but I want to say that.
I think it's got to be Data for me. He's a stunning sort of. They've kind of gone a bit above and beyond with the artwork there. Every little detail with his sash, with his expression as well, is very kind of reminiscent of like the episode. What was it? The Barclay hologram episode, which was called
Hollow Pursuits.
Hollow Pursuits, thank you, which is fantastic. And we're only missing hologram Musketeer Riker. We just need him.
So you know how we have the arts like occasionally in the wrong aspect ratio, so you have like tiny Age of Sail Wolf. When they do Musketeer Riker, he has to be tiny.
Absolutely.
He's got to be.
So a bit of the behind the scenes. Namer is in a Discord server with us, and he occasionally posts upscale art images, so higher quality than you'll be able to get on your tiny little device resolution. And one of the pins in one of the channels on that Discord server is high-res Adam with the caption "Enhanced Nipples." And it's maybe my favorite post in the history of Discord. So I
like that he... For context, Namer has a Nitro thing for his Discord, which allows him to upload images that are bigger than 8 megabytes. And believe me, he puts them only to the best uses.
But listen, were you looking at Adam, or were you paying attention to the woman in the red dress?
I talked to the voting committee, and at least one of them voted for Vash, which I wholeheartedly agree with. That would have been my choice if I had a seat on the voting committee. So
that's true. The committee it's a very elusive club. That committee, they are very very
prestigious, very shadowy. Some have called them humanoid figures.
Some have, yes. It's very much. I'm sure Archer's in there somewhere. Nevertheless, shall we read off the winner of the best artwork for this
from your totally not pre-opened envelope?
Hang on, sorry.
It's a different envelope every time.
Yeah, there we go. And the winner is. It's Adam. Adam is the winner of this year's best artwork.
It's the upset. Oh, I'm not happy about this. I've been slated.
Adam, and your nipples.
It's a fix. It was paid for.
By the way, first to maxed by our sometimes co-host Big Mick Large Huge. So congrats to him on that one.
You know what? That is a fix. That's how you know.
No, okay. What happened is we all voted for not Adam. So we're like, all right, let's just pick the one that we didn't vote for.
No, it was the committee. Shush, it was the committee.
The committee.
The committee voted for it. That's what they could.
Committee inside your head. Yeah, that's the one.
Yes, of course. Very shadowy. Let's move on to our next community category. So thank you very much. This one was submitted by Shireporn himself, who came sort of joint finalists, and the category is thus.
In the category of Most Awkward Pose, Luau Q, Laura, Dreamwalker Chakotay, The Hansons,
Yeah, so the second finalist in our community vote, which was most awkward pose. Otto, how do you feel about you, the known Chakotay enthusiast, him being in that collection? And how badly do you want to not invite Shireporn in anymore?
This is the second biggest travesty in the entire episode so far. Okay, that's a good pose. Like, if you put it up against the still of the episode, it's right on. The art is good, and actually it was right in the middle of the big old orange streak where everyone had malaria, and he came out looking pretty good. So I think he's above average in that regard.
Yeah, no, I feel like that one was put in purely to slate poor Auto, so I'm gonna support him on that. Also,
Neighbor in chat says the Hansons look straight out of a Soviet propaganda piece.
That's true. It's the hammer and a sickle in the background somewhere.
Yeah.
Do your part.
How can it be anything other than Lara? She is literally a Flintstones character. That is Hanna-Barbera era quality. Come on.
And we'll get in this later because we have a new crew announced today, Tchar, who's also from the exact same episode as Lara.
And he looks
the difference
badass.
is
he looks
pretty cool.
He really looks good, and Lara just looks terrible. Like this, it's such a shift in quality. Like you say, she's Hanna-Barbera. He is like some gritty noir remake of some sort of avian thriller.
This could be us, but you tripping.
Exactly, yeah.
And a big shout out to Captain Idol for zooming in on Luau Q's knees for that video.
Loads of people were freaked out by his knee. I can never quite get it because it just looks like a pair of legs to me. And people are like, I don't like his knee.
Yeah,
really
to be fair,
freaked out.
speaking as someone who is nearing their 30s, that's just kind of what male white knees kind of tend to look like at that age. And I'm not sure how old John Lancey was at that point, but he was past that point. Your knees aren't exactly the most attractive part of your body, but
if that's
maybe
your
I'm
so be it. But we don't shame here. Definitely not. Shall we announce who the community voted for most of all? And this was the community vote who came up with this, and they in fact voted
not
for...
the committee?
No, this was the community, not the committee. This was voted for. Thank you.
What about the community committee?
Well, I don't know about that. If you join our Discord, you can be part of the community committee. And there you go, the links just appeared in chat. Anyway, the winner is... It's an upset. It's Dreamwalker Chakotay in a landslide. He was voted most awkward pose of any crew this year.
Now, see, clearly people misunderstood the category. It's most intimidating pose because they saw him there with the spear and they're like, oh boy, oh geez.
Most handsome man on the planet. Yes, that's an excellent winner. Deservedly so.
There will be plenty of time to come round to Chakotay when we go on. But our next category is also another shout out to our community and our efforts to categorize. Well, I won't spoil it, but this next category is for them.
In the category of Most 12-Hour Voyages, Nobleman DK, Abigir, =, lowercase letter J =, cold, James D. Kirk.
So yes, thank you to everyone that has been submitting their times for 12-hour voyages. There's definitely been some of you that have been submitting more of them than most, and we decided that we would shout out those that have been succeeding more than others. But 12-hour voyages is something we've spoken to about often. I think there are definitely more of them coming in, especially with this last collection update. But it's definitely a significant milestone in the game.
The collection that we'll be speaking about later on in this stream.
Indeed. We will. should we cut to the chase? I mean, everyone, there's been quite an amount of enthusiasm for posting 12-hour voyages, and a lot of people have been dissecting it and trying to find the best sort of common ratios and what's the best thing to do it, whether it's going to be the original data core Voyager or the new multi-vector one, or like piling up Voyagers just manually, or just trying to throw everything in it.
Meanwhile, some people just keep posting, oh, I got a new skill combination 12-hour voyage. Oh, I got another one. Oh, I got another one. I got another one. Like
A plain simple Garrick and Chet asked, but who has the longest one? Well, I wonder, Garrick, who's tied for the longest documented voyage currently?
That might be him tied with Love 2 PB for something like 12-hour 20 or something like that. So there's no clear winner yet. However, let's announce the winner of most 12-hour... I mean, people who are in a community will know who this is, but the winner of most 12-hour voyages is, in fact, Nobleman DK, who has a stunning amount of voyages. So congratulations to you.
And congratulations to the WRG employee who switched your RNG toggle to the right end of the scale.
Yes, you haven't had one in a while, so I think they've sussed onto whatever dark magic you were going for. Okay, our next collection, if I can find...
Hold on.
Go on.
No, you skipped one of these because we were going in order.
Oh, did I? Which one did I skip? Oh, I did skip one, didn't I?
I painstakingly organized these.
You did, and I've ruined everything.
It took great effort to assemble these orgs.
With input from the committee, of course.
Of course. Yeah. So this next category is...
In the category of Worst Deal of the Year. Credits. Wait, really? Just credits? The Mayweather Birthday Behold. The Mixed Rarity Primal Behold. All of the above.
Yes, there have been some interesting deals in the game this year. These were the three we could kind of come up with that were particular offenders, aside from the fact that maybe there is no good deal. You know, there's bad deal, as Stella would say, all around. But
there are bad deals and there are bad deals, and then there's Sail the Starry Skies, which we don't have to worry about anymore. In memoriam, R.I.P. This is hard.
I hope we don't get any more all of the above, because I feel like I'm taking a multiple choice quiz at school or something. It's kind of a cop-out if you can't come up with a fourth answer, but...
Are you telling me to read the show notes?
I didn't put these together, so what do I know?
Yeah, so we have
really, you don't know very much. You only wrote a big book about the game and all that.
No, you don't. What do you know? It's not why we invited you here. We invited you here for your charisma, not for your knowledge.
Okay, let's talk about these deals. Let's actually stick to the theme of the category for once. I don't think the Primal Behold was that bad. It was their second documented foray into the mixed rarity beholds, and by the odds, your first poll would have been 96.7% chance that you would have at least one gold, and they were...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure our good friend No Name Namer did some very empirical research on that and worked out the odds.
Yeah, it was discounted ever so slightly, so it wasn't a total kick in the nuts. And actually, I did see a lot of people in Discord pulling. I saw some on the forums pulling, so I think a lot of people said, I just wanted to do one because it's something new and I want to try it out. So I hope most people were pleased with what they got.
I think most people were probably aiming for Spock and Ichaya as well, rather than trying to throw a citation on them. I thought that's a good reason why people were doing it. That's the only reason I was tempted.
And the Mayweather Behold was... I mean, let's not dump on Travis too much. He was crew number 1002 after all, so...
I think 1004. Anyway, but to be fair, none of those cards are empirically bad. Like, Mount Climber Mayweather, unique skill order, still voyages for a lot of people. You know, he's got that sort of exclusivity that none other have. Tactical Officer Mayweather, fairly decent-ish, but he has got the 400% boom. EV Suit Mayweather has got collections, and you build a snowman in his outfit.
Well, hold on. There's a card in the game that has collections. Sign me up. I can't wait to pay for one of those.
Tell me more about this wondrous addition to my gameplay.
Yeah, but there was not a lot to go for if you weren't... You can get that value everywhere, so it wasn't great. But the 25 million credits and a citation was an interesting deal. Definitely targeting those who retrieve a lot and probably spend too much on retrieval.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's 6 retrievals, like, padded out for the next, like, what 6 months, and that's if you don't speed up. That's planning ahead, I guess.
6 months, 25 million. How much can you make in tanking? You can make quite a fair bit.
Now, I'm an elite no-lifer veteran of the game, so my results may vary, but I'm only going up in credits, even doing quantum speed up recently, so I know a lot of people do have trouble with credits, but
I ain't one of them, so fuck off.
Yeah. If I were on the voting committee, I would heavily be pushing for credits to win this category.
Speaking of the committee, I've just received information. I've just been. Oh, thank you. Right, brilliant. Now I've just been passed the results here.
God damn it.
Dude, you keep getting better every time. This is incredible.
The only way that could have been better is if there'd been like a little cat paw on the other end. Like a cat
I should have got my son to come down handed to me. Right, okay, and the winner is in fact the credits deal. Money for credits, chicks for free.
Mo money, mo problems, mo prime directives.
Yeah. More money for next time they do a credit Dabo sale, we'll see. Our next category is something we kind of threw in the last minute, so let me find the button. There it is.
So like all the other ones.
No. It was planned out far ahead of time.
Best Animated Series Crew of the Year. Shivalene Mress. Laura. Spock and Chaya. Sword.
Yeah, we've had a bit of a animated series renaissance this year. In lieu of the fact they couldn't give us lower
Say
decks
it
crew,
right, it's Tazaisons.
Tazaisons.
By the way, a quick shout out to wonderful task characters that didn't quite make the cut. Unfortunately, Idle's After Effects template can only fit 4 names, so we had to leave off Captain Tribble, Chuff Captain, Kul Khan, and release today's score to Tchar. Score Tchar. The T is silent.
Very, very last minute that would have been. But yes, in lieu of them not being able to give us lower decks this year, they have given us a plethora of animated series crew, and I'm kind of glad they have, because it is it's a personal underdog for me, that series. I think everyone should watch it, especially if they're into the original series. You should watch the animated series because it's a great addition to it, and it's not as bad as you think. But of these crew, we've got Miss Hanna-Barbera back again. I don't think she is. I mean, if we're going to talk gameplay over art, she does have some gauntlet use, which is something.
Yeah, but
I think this is the whole package. So
yeah, whole package. No, I think I disqualify her for the art, but.
And I'm pretty sure you just threw Mress in there for the furry vote.
Okay, so I actually did have to go back and find Shatner pronounces it Mress instead of Mress or Mress. It's Mress.
Where did Shibalene
but unfortunately,
come from? Was that
I didn't think to check if it's Shibalene or Shibaline like feline.
It's Shibby to her friends, but
okay. Anyways.
How do we feel about Sword? Sword is great art.
Sword,
Look at that.
Sword is underrated because we've been looking at arena stuff recently in the Brain Trust, and he is pretty vastly underrated as a huge boom with accuracy. Almost all of them have attack boost, so he's very usable there. He's still a decent Voyager, so yeah.
I think him being a 6-packer kind of meant that people didn't quite get to love on him as much as maybe if he had been an event, because I think he is quite a good card overall. He's got great art.
He is in Portal now, isn't? No, he's not in Portal. He will be next update.
No,
he should be. Yeah,
next update.
Yeah,
if that ever comes.
Oh, not bad. Return.
I think I've got to throw my lot in here with Spock and Shire, just because
That's a good card.
Spock, lots of collections. He was the herald for the Primal collection. And I really do just love the art on Shire. Like, I really do love the expression. That's the proper way to do a Hanna-Barbera character. Like that kind of, it's got that emotiveness, but it still looks realistic.
They managed to de-age Nimoy when they didn't. They do it in TAS, although he's sort of cartoonified. So they kind of went a bit above and beyond by sort of giving him the young look, which was quite cool. I like that. And of course we had the Achaya. The dog.
What's our totally not rigged answer for this award?
Let's find out. I'm just going to receive it here, and here we go. Thank you thank you. No,
you
sorry.
Pull out your pants.
You can get what? I'm sorry. When
pull
you
out
keep
your
your
pants?
awards nominations? No? Okay. I know I should keep it on my jacket. I should be like, yes, and Our no, okay, it's too late.
Pull one out from behind your collar.
Yes, it's behind your ear. Okay. The winner is Spock and Ichaya. Ichaya. So congratulations, best.
Oh, Ichaya.
Oh, Ichaya, how you doing, my darling? Put a kettle on. Sorry. Okay. Our next category, which we are going to let our community vote on. You guys in the chat, get ready for a vote.
Well, that's dangerous.
That is dangerous. We're going to let you. The committee objected to this. They said, we don't like things out of our hands. And I said, no. I had to stress. I said, no, I want our community to have the vote. So this is for you guys.
I love democracy.
In the category of Best Mega Event of the Year, Lothario Q and the Definitely Not Romantic Mega. Barry Waddle's Costume Party. I swear to God, if you say Tribble one more time. Luau Q's Knobby Knees and the Innovators.
Here we go. Poll is up in chat now, so pick your best. Everyone vote and pick what you thought was the best mega event this year. The winner will be.
Did you just put up a poll, or did you just assume that I was going to put it up?
No, I assumed you were going to put it up. You're the poll man.
Okay, I did. I just want to make sure we didn't put up two polls at the same time.
No, that's fine. Right. You've done it. So yes, it's been a wide range of mega events this year. It's been an interesting one. It's definitely not been the sort of usual dull standard we've had previous years. What are you drinking there, Otto?
This is Hop Junkie, a 3.4% IPA.
Very nice. So
not champagne? I'm disappointed.
Were you guys, when we got to the actual Tribble Mega, were you guys sick of Tribbles by this point? Because it was the third Tribble Mega we'd had in a row, from Barry Waddle through to
Tribble Quark.
Tribble Quark, that's correct, and that Mega, and then Tribble Kirk and that Mega, the official Tribble one. So by that point, I was a bit like, okay, I'm kind of done with Tribbles. And then they released the collection.
I don't know, like the fact that the other two were not part of a Triple Mega, they were just drew from a Tribble episode, I wasn't as tired of it. Innovator was the one where that had the rockiest start of them all, where it had started off some really rough art. We had the whole issue with Professor Data, and it kind of came together. Yeah, and it kind of came together in the other half of it, but it just kind of soured it in my mind. I had to go with costumed here, not just for the
interesting.
Yeah, it had a bit of a damp squib of a storyline ending where it's just like, look, it's Neelix, there he is, bye. The overall quality, the overall quality of the crew and the theme is fun enough that I'm like, you know what, got the costume.
So right now it's a 2-horse race between Tribble and Costume Party, and that's what I had for the. I mean, in terms of tight theming, and all the crew were named Tribble. Like this, the Tribble one was probably the best one they've ever done, and they've done 25 or some huge amount at this point. But in terms of crew quality, strong cards that you can use every day, that you still are using every day. Costume Party was the best ever. So it's like flavor versus gameplay power, and they both had something to offer. And for people that say mega events, that they aren't mega, they should space them out and stuff. Well, there's an argument for that. But this year they have raised the bar ever so slightly, and I think those two did very well.
Definitely. King Louis in chat says, the only negative to the Tribble Mega was the Tribble collection being so hard to complete. And that was kind of my issue as well. They released a collection that was nigh impossible, and that was the kind of misstep I thought they made. They needed to build up to it and then maybe release it, or maybe release it now. Are
you telling me that you don't want Tribble Chekhov desperately?
Unfortunately, I have Tribble Chekhov because I pulled a couple of recaps and got him. So, no, it wasn't the recap. It was the last pack that he was with someone else, wasn't he? I forget who it was, and I was pulling for the other person.
Lol, Lamau, loser.
Thanks, mate. Yes.
I didn't get settled with him.
We have just received word that the results are in, and Tribble Quibbles has won the best mega event of 2021.
For our podcast listeners, Tribble Quibbles with 61% of the vote, Masquerade with 36% of the vote, Q's Passion with 4%, and nobody liked Fantasy Planet. So
nobody voted for that.
Oh boy, that's
wow. Okay.
Idle.
Hello. Oh, have I got to change glasses, have I? Oh, there we go. Thank you, man. I'm going to go...
We are beholden to the hair flips.
You are.
Bring back the Stevie Wonders. Yeah.
Right. Our next... I can't see shit. All right, okay. Our next category...
Welcome to my world.
Our next category is...
Coleman's Hot Mustard presents the category of Most Yellow Crew. The Hansons. Hollow Engineer Zimmerman. Straw. Brewigan.
Yes, thank you for Coleman's Mustard for supporting this one. This is a local community that delivers the best English mustard that you can afford to eat. But thank you for sponsoring Most Yellow Crew here. And they were a definite array of crew that we had issue with that were of a certain hue, as it were.
Now I'm kind of sad that Executive Director Hugh didn't have a card, so he could have been accused of Hugh, but I remembered, oh yeah, I actually really like Hugh as a card, so I'm glad he didn't get saddled with malaria a lot.
I like how the image you pulled, it just says Coleman's Mustard covering all the options, so I can't remember who was in the list.
It was Rurigan, Strahl, Hollow Zimmerman, and the Hansons.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like the mustard is covering up the obvious winner here.
With the Hansons.
Strahls is pretty rough. I think I would vote for Hansons because they were kind of like the first one who came out. We're like, whoa, what's going on here? And then it just kept happening for like 2 months, and we're like, did they fire their artist? What's going on? So
yeah, no, it just reminds me of that old like Rodney Dangerfield bit where he's like, oh, let me introduce you to this the queen of whatever. It's like, put her back, she ain't done yet. That's what it felt like for about 2 months. Every crew was a 50-50 on whether or not they were done yet.
A lot of people were annoyed by Hollow Zimmerman purely for the fact he is such an awesome Voyager and a really great card, but the fact that you kind of got to now look at him quite often and kind of go, no, that's a shame.
I think Rurigan, when we talked about him when he came out, we sort of excused it because he was standing facing a sunset, so the art is not that far off, but yeah, the other three are kind of, especially, Strahl came out and we're like, well, that one we sort of excused because he was only on Hollow Com Call until he died, right? So
yeah, but then we looked at the picture of his actor and we were like, buddy, you got to get in contact with your rep right now.
Yeah, some lawyers need to be talked to right now. That is not a good representation of you.
Hold on, is this why Professor Data never got released?
How yellow was he? Do you think it was just a yellow, just Data silhouette in yellow? Do you reckon it was just that?
No, it was just the yellow, but with the skunk hair.
Because he is already quite orange. Like there's already, there's always that hue to him. But here you go.
Wait, what if his eyes were actually a normal color instead of yellow, and they reversed the switches and they had to pull it back?
Oh, that's what happened. They had the Data template and they just didn't undo it for the other art.
Okay, let's not belabor the point.
Let us not belabor the point. Our winner this year for the most yellow crew is in fact the Hansons. Mbop. It is the Hansons' most yellow crew of 2021. Let's hope.
I'm glad to hear that cooler, yellower heads are prevailed.
The committee is really on point tonight. They're getting all these decisions right.
They are doing good work, and here we go. So this next category, a little on the nose, but we think it would deserve to be mentioned.
This is a fan favorite.
Oh, this is very much a fan favorite. And the next category is...
in the category of WRG Gaffe of the Year, Crew Retrieval Bandgate, the Big Boy Banathon. It's not a ban, it's a light suspension. No, seriously, don't ban your most active players.
So yes, we had a few ideas, because obviously we were going to do the Gaffe of the Year no matter what happened, and we had a few ideas about what we were going to put in this year, and we kind of thought there was only one top, like we had a list, and we were looking down and we're just thinking, this just one just sticks out so much more than everyone else that we have to kind of address it, and it was...
Now, keep in mind, if the player wasn't banned in France, it's only a sparkling suspension. You can't call it a true ban, in effect.
So for those that have, or have been new to the game, or have
Ben, come back! Come on, it's just friendly bants.
Excellent wordplay there, Stars. That's already win him over.
Yeah, it's fine. We don't need all the show again.
For those that don't remember, back in February, when just as I was moving house and was unaware of the whole situation, there was a few packs put up that maybe a few people, not me, may have hit buy again a few too many times. The button was there. You're going to press it. What are you going to do? I'm only human. And were received at the other end of a 72-hour ban, and there was much community uproar over it. But it was undone, and apologies were sent on. And Ben himself very graciously did come back on this show and did apologise to everyone. So
it was completely deserved, you scoundrel. You knew what you were doing. You should have had your bottom spanked. You were raised improperly by your parents.
Hey,
everyone should have been banned for opening more than one of those.
We don't know what he and his wife get up in the bedroom. Don't.
Oh yeah, just up there, just hitting that buy again button all the time. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hang on now.
I'm sorry, that was a lewd gesture. I'm glad our podcast listeners didn't have to see that.
Shall we announce the winner of WRG's Gaff of the Year?
Is there a winner here, or is it all losers?
I think the big boy banathon would be.
Let me have a look.
Would be.
It is in fact the players for making it through the banathon intact. And I don't know where I was going with that. We didn't really have a winner. Obviously, knew who it was going to be. Okay. On to more serious topics. Our next category is...
In the category of Best Flavor Text, Mint Julep McCoy. Formal Dress Wesley Crusher. Prophet Kira. Captain Tribble.
Yes, best flavor text. We've had the reintroduction of flavor text into the crew's notes, as it were, and there have been some stunners. There's been some interesting ones. There have been some bad ones, but we thought we'd focus on the good ones. Otto, your recurring segment is reading out the flavor text. So could you please run down the list and give us the full lowdown?
Mint Julep McCoy. Leonard McCoy is a big fan of mint juleps, and sometimes he prepares one or two to relax. Formal dress Wesley Crusher, which I'll have to explain later on. Wesley returned from his journey with the Traveler and attended the Troy Riker wedding in 2379. Prophet Kira's. Kira would have been willing to surrender herself to the prophets no matter what the consequences, even if it meant her death. And Captain Tribble. A particularly perseverant Tribble troubles Kirk when it seizes the captain's chair during a dispute with Klingon forces.
How can anything win but Captain Tribble? Like, I feel like if that doesn't win, then we have actually... It's an actual crime.
Crew they released this year, having a big furry Tribble in the captain's chair was definitely the most left field. What the fuck? And then actually putting that flavor text with it as well was.
Guess what? It's that kind of gesture that reminds me why I bothered to play this game.
Exactly. Yeah. Random shit like that.
Okay, so I have to give a shout out to Formal Dress Wesley Crusher.
I was going to ask about that.
First of all, because they misspelled Traveler. Secondly, because the mere idea that this ascended, he's evolved from a humanoid. He's becoming this time-traveling, like slipping between the quantum layers.
Beast, yeah.
He's a demigod, and he's going to stop exploring the universe to come back for the Triker wedding. At which he sits there and has, like, no lines in the entire movie. Like, that's the most absurd thing to me.
Are you forgetting, like, the other context as to why he's wearing a Starfleet uniform?
I know this idea.
We have a new subscriber! Thank you, Fragrance Free Vaseline, for subscribing.
Sorry, that name again was?
Sorry?
That name again was?
Fragrance Free Vaseline.
Oh, very good.
Very good.
I hope it's fragrance free. Yeah, I believe there's a deleted scene in which Wesley apparently beams down naked, because he's under the impression that it was going to be a Betazoid wedding.
Oh boy!
And then they had to quickly source a formal dress uniform because that's the only thing they've got on hand, and that's
interesting. We have a couple of hair flip redeems. Otto, a request from Janos. Can you read the Boothby replicant current flavor text? He picks his moments. He could have waited till after the award show, but no, he's got to do it now.
It has to be right now.
And we do, while you're doing that, we have a player fleet shout out from Gornophobe to shout out the fleet Frank and Beans. So there you go. There's your shout out. Good fleet.
Yeah, so Boothby Replicant did not have flavor text before, and they did an update yesterday that changed it to Booker went back to his home planet, Quijan, to save it from the threat by Osira. So we reckon someone was setting things up and accidentally copied a new Booker flavor text into BOO Uthby Replicant.
You heard it here first. There is going to be a new Booker variant revealed through flavor text. The art of doing the stealthy ARG reveal is keeping it in the sidelines. Players pick through all the code and the pieces. Thank you, Vulcan Cat. Thank you, Vulcan Cat, for the gifting to this community. Thank you very much.
Hey, there's a good tie into formal dress, Wes.
That is very good, very appropriate. Oh gosh, someone's really white on the whiteboard. You got to tell me what you're going to write though. Vulcan, let me know what you're going to write, and I will do it. At some
also,
point.
you ask why Wesley would bother to go to a wedding. Free drinks, man.
That's true. Even a traveller's got to quench the thirst first.
Okay, so Tribbles was great. It was goofy, which you have to be if you're going to release a giant pink koosh ball. Kira's was very serious and added flavor or added garnish and backstory in a different way. Wesley's I just found absurd, so I put it in there. Mint Julep McCoy, though, I can definitely imagine. I guess WRG is working from home, but maybe if they were still in the offices, I could just imagine them having Tequila Tuesdays or whatever. And someone knocking out this Leonard McCoy Mint Julep, big fan, and sometimes prepares one or two to relax. I think someone's projecting on that one. So I
want to see Luau Ben and Luau Fury, and they all just have like Mint Julep.
Yes, put the devs in the game. Come on.
I also love the image of prepares one or two, which implies that he's just stacking them on a table in front of him. And it just reminds me of whenever I try and get my Sims to be really good at bartending, and they would just make an entire bar's worth of drinks just lined up in a row.
I just realized the flavor text confirms that he's the one who prepares them. Bartender trait.
Another one for the collection.
Also, Ben has pointed out George and Gracie were robbed.
They were poor. What is their flavor text? Do they have some?
I think it says that they're heroes of the century or something like that, right?
Hold on, let me find it.
Let me find it. And then we have.
The flavor says after being rescued.
After being rescued.
After being rescued from whalers by Kirk and crew in 1986, these heroes saved the world in the 23rd century by singing at a deep space probe. No period.
That is good flavor text. Why didn't we include
that? That is good.
Yeah,
that is good. Well, they brought back flavor text. We love it because we dive into the little nooks and crannies of the crew, and it adds a lot to the timeline's ethos, as it were. So.
Definitely making very good use of memory alpha there. Anyway, we have our winner.
Look, this wouldn't be an award show if we didn't have snubs to pick apart after the show. So.
Sure.
We will. And the winner is... It is Mint Julep McCoy. Congratulations.
Ooh.
There you go. Very, very popular.
Respectable.
I don't think we could have a bad choice in that one.
We have 3 more categories left. The next category is...
Original thinking. Tribble Trouble. Bada bing, bada bang.
And thank you to the Klingon Language Institute for providing accurate translations there. Yes, we have a variety of collections in what can only be described as Collection-a-thon of 2021, where they were all released and changed us all as people inside. But we have picked 4 of the best. Please, let's go over these one by one. I think let's start in order. Like Klingon Collection were fan favorite. Definitely, this was the one that was requested. That and Mirror, I think, were requested on the forums and everywhere for a long, long time. People wanted to show that they were warriors of the Empire, and very much stout believers in the art of Kalis.
Yeah, and Resourceful was a bit more of a conscientious one. That one was a bit more of a came out of left field a little bit, but I think everyone was very happy to see that and the myriad of boosts that came along with it.
Yeah, it was,
you know, and it's like
a collection, wasn't it?
It's like 120 now. I think it's like getting ridiculous. How large can my collections be? They can't possibly be this cute.
You wait till the human collection.
You know, it gets joked on a little bit, dunked on a little bit, but I kind of like the idea that it opens up possibilities for ones that we didn't really think about before. And not that people are going out of the way because they love Desperate Crew or Civilian Crew or whatever, but it just, you know, the fact...
I love Desperate Crew. I empathize with them so much.
The fact that it opens up options, I appreciate. Bada bing, bada bang, as everyone in chat is going to win this. Spoiler alert, it's going to win this one. Although I did hear through the grapevine that the attaché to the Klingon High Council has threatened to disembowel all of us if the Klingon one doesn't win. So
definitely got some sway with the committee. I will say that there's definitely a High Council sort of thing going there.
Is this the part where Sarek walks in and asks if they have the right to commit murder?
Oh, we're keeping on Star Trek 4 references. Come on. Let's talk about Resourceful. And that absolute monster of a collection coming in. I think it's 180 crew, I believe.
Over 200 by now,
God,
in terms
it's
of
absolutely
crew and
ridiculously huge collection. Kind of just thrown out there to go, you thought we could do big collections? Well, fuck you, here's this. Every crew you've ever had is in this collection.
It was always part of the plan.
So I just said something nice about it, but on the other hand, whenever I see a crew come out with that trait, and I'm like, I don't think that's true to the episode. That just feels like, hey guys, buy this card because he's in the collection.
Do you think this is only
the noted trait stealer and Grinch Automaton 2000?
That's true.
Do you think
I've had more traits removed than any man in history.
History's greatest monster. You're up there with John Frederick Paxson, Colonel Green.
Just like Americans in oil, if I see traits, I'm coming for them, baby.
Less said about Voyage ranks to that. Human Saru will remember this.
Okay, Tribble, we haven't talked about. You don't like it. I like it because it's big. That means every crew in there has some kind of value. So, Tribble Chekhov, Tribble Uhura, like, they're not the best, but if they don't add many more crew, like, that might save you 100,000 honor from Captain Tribble or this and that. So I like that it adds more value than everyone's resourceful, and they're going to print 1 billion more. But Tribble is pretty tight, so I kind of like that.
That is a good point, but the only problem with it is that the amount of boosts that it gets, you just have to wait for the inevitable new collection we'll be getting in January for the same level of boost for a lot less of the effort. So it is a case of, I think it's mostly there for the high rollers and the people who can afford to be chasing after crew like Doma and Luxley, but it is nice that they have that to chase.
It's when they release the super rare collection is you have to worry.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be an interesting one.
Yeah, interesting. So how about Bada Bing, Bada Boom? I mean, this is definitely one of the most, looking at chat, it's one of the more popular ones to win the award. Mostly, probably because of the reward, getting the scapegoat O'Brien from that episode. But I really like themed packs like that, like having all the crew from that episode. And I think they'll probably do one about the Killing Game at some point. You know, there's enough of crew in the game to do a collection like that. I like episodic collections. I think they're fantastic.
Well, it's like people have a lot of affection for holodeck enthusiasts, and that one's when that first came out, everyone was like, "Oh man, this is really cool." But then obviously, as time went on, Lucille Davenport fell out of favor a little bit because she wasn't, as good a Voyager as she was when she debuted. Well, she always had value, and it's just you could get the other stars. But O'Brien was the first good O'Brien we'd had in years. And he wasn't just good, he was crazy good.
Damn good.
And everyone is always happy to see O'Brien, because he's probably one of the fan favorite characters in all of Star Trek. I feel like there's a reason why Lower Decks picked him as most important person in Federation history. And it's just like, most of those crew in that collection aren't bad. Like, apart from maybe Cassidy Yates is probably the worst one, but even then it's like she's still costumed, she's still got other things, she's still a character who does get variants, so it's not like Holodeck Enthusiast where you have to kind of pinch your nose and take Beowulf Kim because eventually he'll be worth freezing.
So this collection is a great choice because you can go after a stat boost or you can go after a crew that you're actually going to use. And as the stat ranks drop or whatever, and they introduce stronger crew, it's gonna, reach equilibrium, and then Goat's gonna start to fall off. But it's a choice. Like, you ever get tired of chasing stat boosts, or you get tired of chasing vanities that give you like chronotons and merits? This is another choice. It's a new direction, new avenue. They did great by making them powerful.
Yes.
Now, if they did something like a gauntlet monster where those get introduced so infrequently that he would stay on top forever, that would be a great option. Or someone loaded with traits like Flint was in this week's six-pack, where you might hit on 10 collections in a couple of years. They could definitely do a lot with that. It's a lot of unexplored territory, so I hope they continue to do that. It would be my pick for collection of the year.
I also feel like it appeals to one of the main demographics of this game, which is like men of a certain age group who need projects, and he is definitely a project because you only get the first star.
People like in that collection of the dad in their shed with a tool bench going, I need a new power drill. I need a decoy Kira. Well, this one's just not up to spec. I need like a 4-inch blade to cut through this piece of wood. The wife's coming in the corner like, are you busy, dear? Do you want a tea? Yes, please.
Speaking from experience there, Idle.
Shush. I love my shed.
The Honeydew Collection. That's a good show.
That is a good one. Okay, shall we reveal our winner for this year? And the winner of Best Collection for this year is the Klingon Collection. Interesting. I believe we have one thing to say to the Klingon High Council. Do we not, lads? Do we not?
We do.
Yeah, okay. Ow, I just kicked my computer.
Yeah.
Dishonorable.
Okay.
Can you imagine an honorable Klingon rigging a community vote like this?
No.
They've soured the entire event.
No, surely the Klingons wouldn't do such duplicitous to behave. Must be from the House of Duras. Okay, our next collection, which is one of possibly our favourites, is...
In the category of Best Chakotay Variant, Dreamwalker Chakotay, Amal Chakotay, Union Chakotay, Bare-chested Horse-taming Chakotay.
How did this get in?
Oh
Who approved this? I don't remember.
You guys are watching on the VOD. Hit the
was-
left arrow twice and then hit spacebar to pause it. And look at that man. He's taping his fists up to go boxing. Oh my god, this entire category was created
This was supposed
just
to be
so I could put that
Voyager. I don't know how Chakotay
into as
usurped
many
it.
households as possible. Oh yes. So Stars got to indulge in the Wharf collection or collection of Wharves last year, and we had like 5 in 1 year.
Yeah.
So it's only fair Chakotay gets a little bit of love.
Yeah, in this year, the best of times, the worst of times for Chakotay fans.
Yeah. So they released 3 variants. 2 were complete ass, and 1 was like the best super rare Voyager in the game and the #1 base. So apparently they don't do well going in between.
And 2 of them are 6-packs as well. That's an odd way to do it.
Definitely, yeah. There's been an upsurge in Chakotay. I think Ben has teased.
There's been an upsurge in
Buy
something.
Chakotay, invest.
Yes, Chakotay variants have always been a worthwhile get in the game. But we thought we'd do it. I give Dreamwalker crap for being a terrible card, but I do, of the 3 variants, I kind of like it the most because it is kind of the most Chakotay. Most of his episodes are focused on him somehow connecting with his past or doing something with his sort of natural self, as it were, and I kind of like that. This is Chakotay's spirit animal. Dreamwalker Chakotay is Chakotay as he wants to be.
You mean as Otto sees him in his dreams?
No, that was bare-chested horse taming Chakotay.
Yeah.
I mean, he told you to assume he doesn't want both of them in his dreams, like encircling him, but you know, that's
First of all, there's no way Amal Chakotay wins because his name in the episode is Amal Kotay. And if you're going to release crew like Beowulf EMH that you can't search in the vault for anyway under Doctor or whatever, just give him his real name. It's Amal Kotay. You know, he's the best of the 3 statistically.
Is that the laziest alias they've ever done on Star Trek for an undercover character? Like Amal
I kind of
Kotay?
like it though, because it's not. You don't take it seriously.
It's 1 letter away from what Otto would want him to be.
Oh my!
Oh,
Please,
fuck off. Really?
We got people. We have children watching.
Do we? They shouldn't be.
We also have
Go to
69 viewers, so maybe that was the right time to make that joke.
I'm going to pipe this one over. I've heard that you actually have the results here, Auto. I believe they have spoken directly to you because I had no idea this category was coming. So please, could you reveal the winner of the best Chakotay variant of this year?
I'm going to do the lame cop-out Stars and Garters version and say all of them. We need more. In terms of first officers in the game, he's had the short end of the stick since the beginning of the game. He deserves events, he deserves variants, and I love you, Robert Beltran.
He loves you too.
Somewhere out there, he's cradling a picture of like Auto, and he doesn't know why.
Don't we all?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, our final category for this year. Very important one.
In the category of Best Premium #1 Talk Show of the Year, Timelines Talks. Timelines Talks. Timelines Talks. Timelines Talks.
Very prestigious award, this one, and we decided we were going to let you, the community, vote. So there is now a poll up in chat. Please vote for which is your favourite #1 exclusive premium #1 talk show for all things Star Trek Timelines. I personally think, honestly, it's been a good run. You know, we've had a lot of things for Timelines Talks, but I honestly wonder if Timelines Talks might pull ahead. We'll have to see what the chat votes for.
And I tell you what, there's a
Terry Nelson in chat says, "I'm glad that there's no self-serving going on around here." And to which I say, "Look, bro, if you're not flexible enough, it's fine."
Dude.
It's been a while. Give me that one. Come on.
Let's add the PG-18 advisory to the stream at this point.
Oh, it's neck and neck between Timelines Talks and Timelines Talks right now. It's
I tell you what's exciting is last year Timelines Talks actually won this category, so we could have a repeat winner this year.
We very much could. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what comes in, and I think it's about another minute on the thing. Excuse me. Jenna says, what about Primelines Talks? Yeah, I'm very shocked it wasn't nominated. Primelines Talks, for those who don't know, was the all-female version of this show that aired that featured Siete and
Well, you know what they
Seven.
say about limited editions? Like, they're very
true.
popular with the fan base, but they never get any critical recognition.
That's very true, and I'd like to sort of shout out them. It's absolutely fantastic. So, we're neck and neck again, 30%, 30%.
It was 3 women and Captain Idol.
It was, yes. I was in my element.
As much estrogen as you could pack into a stream, I think.
It was fabulous. I was loving it. It was awesome. Get together with
What we didn't see was the behind the scenes of that Primelines, where like Idol and like Skycap were basically doing the that scene between Troy and Crusher where they're in those ridiculous leotards.
Oh, I thought you were going to go Insurrection with.
Oh yes.
Oh, you know, so your boobs are starting to firm up. Yeah.
But that's not important right now. Crime Lines Talks.
Oh my God! It's a 3-way tie right now between Timelines Talks, Timelines Talks, and Timelines Talks.
Timelines Talks.
You know what?
Ahead.
Big Much Large Huge does point out. What about Puppet Talks? That was my personal
I forgot
favorite.
about that. That was fun. I enjoyed that.
Oh God, that was the worst bit we've ever done.
You mean the best bit?
That was amazing. I'm going to bring Puppet Talks back next year. That's coming back for 2022. It's going to be all puppets for the entire 3 hours we do this show for. Oh,
I'm down.
dear.
I'm down for it.
There's another tie. It's getting close. It's going to be tie. Or 3. Timelines Talks is just edged ahead of Timelines Talks, and Timelines Talks. Oh, this is going to be close.
It's starting to lose meaning now. Starting to lose all meaning.
Minutes left.
There's a 2-way tie. Now, we do have a tiebreaker in place.
We do.
In case something were to happen.
We definitely thought this might happen because I think that is going to end on a tie. On a tie. So we now have. Let me find. Where is it? Okay. So yes,
it's a dead heat.
It's a dead heat. So I do have our wheel here on the screen. We have our wheel of spinning, which we will spin the wheel to determine the winner in case of a tie. So we have all the entries there. Let me just find the right button, and we're going to spin it now. I haven't got the sound yet. We will get sound. I know I promise that every week. And it is, in fact, it's Timelines Talks!
Whoa!
Oh, congratulations,
Congratulations, lads.
Fantastic. But the real winner.
I'd like to thank you guys.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank my
I'd
mother,
like to
my
thank
father.
myself. I might thank myself later as well. When I'm alone.
Vigorously.
By the way, you guys watching are the friggin' best for playing along and making it a tie. Otherwise, we couldn't do that bit.
Oh,
I mean, we would have done it anyways, but it wouldn't have landed. So.
Oh no, the winner. I think the real winner in the hearts was going to be Prime Lines Talks. Hey, Ella is Prime Lines Talks, because it was absolutely fantastic to have a variation to the show, and it was brilliant to get all the girls together to talk about it. But that is the end of our awards show. Thank you everyone for coming along. Thank you for the community for voting. We will now begin our regular broadcast of Timelines Talks.
Don't turn off your TV
Noted
sets yet.
Timelines Talks award winner.
Oh yes.
Ooh, two-time award winner.
Yeah, 2 years in a row. Absolutely fantastic. I have to write something on the board now, and I forget what it was. What was it? I love the whale probe, so I'm going to go do that. You guys, please take us through the event win. I'm going to take a week off from the event winners. Please, someone take us through the event winners. It's on the show notes. I'm going to go write something on the whiteboard. I'll be back.
Oh, now we got to call it up.
I'm going to call out my favourite event winner, which was me. I won 2 copies of Chancellor Kempek, so I'm happy. That's the only one that matters to me.
Very good. Hey, I got 2 copies too. Kempek buddies. All right. If the show notes can be trusted, congratulations to DKA Schmallen for winning a 5-5 Kempek. Low Cost Monkey. It wasn't enough to be top 5 recently. He had to be top 5 again at rank 4.
And
James
noted Timelines Talks Awards nominee.
That's right. Hey, you can put nominee on your CV going forward. James C. Kirk, number 9. Blue Angel, 23. Carpe Diem, 7 at 38. Gazoo at 41. And Susie Q. Plaxon, who I don't recognize, but I imagine I'll put on the list because he just likes Susie Q. Plaxon at 49. So there. Oh, and Brody in 13th without his better half. No double Brody this time. So.
What are you doing, man? You're slacking.
Oh no, down at 29th. Okay. So
there we go.
Brody's this week. Oh, and I see in rank 33, Fat Cat Kempek. That's a good name.
He does kind of look a little bit cat-like in his pic. You just think he's one of those like fat cats that.
I like when people do the theme names, the theme squadrons and fleets for the event. So there you go. No Tsunkatse Siete, oddly enough, unless she was working under an alias.
Is she ill?
She must be saving up for another big run, I guess.
It's been like 10 in a row. I would have thought she would have kept the streak going. Letting the side down, Siete. What's going on? We need to stage an intervention. Get you some chronotons.
I think she knew that we'd be able to pronounce her name correctly, and that kind of takes the fun out of it. So.
That's true.
All right. As long as Idle's off to the little girl's room, let's move on to number 3. Oh no, I already drank that one. Hold on. Whenever Idle's not on the screen, people should be asking, where's Idle?
He's in the bathroom. That's where he is.
I'm now drinking Rest in Peace, 10.1% alcohol by volume.
You sure that's a good idea?
Yeah, sure, why not? We only have another hour.
Yeah, no, I can't remember a time where you've ever...
Thank you, No Name Namer, for gifting a tier 1 sub to Shiaporn.
Thank you for calling that out, because I was too busy dancing to it. Is it strong?
Oh, boy. Oh, she's dripping.
What's happening? What did I miss?
Well, it's dripping all over my knuckles.
Oh, it's all over you. Hang on.
Ensign, it's all over me.
No, wait a minute. I've got a thing for that.
There appears to be a discharge from the right nacelle.
I wasn't looking. It's all over you.
Yes, Ensign, it's all over me.
There it is. Did you read out the event winners?
Yes, we did.
Wonderful, fantastic.
We are capable of that at least.
Fantastic. I knew delegation was the best way forward. Shall we talk about this week's event crew? Actually, yes, it is this week's event crew. I always get that confused. You can, in fact, win a copy of Syrran from the Enterprise episodes Vulcan's Forge, and I forget the name of the other two.
I hope everyone saw that I was in fact
The Awakening, I believe.
There you go.
I hope everyone saw that I was in fact wearing tuxedo pants underneath.
I'm wearing nothing at all. No, I wasn't.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Can't stop the heterocyclic declination. You really can't.
I thought you were about to say the heterosexual declination right there. I'm like, well, you said can't stop that.
Yes. Can't stop it now. The 3 collection command site dip crew Syrran from that Enterprise 3-part, a very good 3-part. I think that was the eve of where people realised, oh, hang on, is Enterprise good?
It's kind of good.
That's pretty accurate, yeah. All right, so this is, I guess we'll start with the stats and then spend the next 4 hours breaking apart the episodes. This is a very interesting new crew, or new roster. Oh, God. Are we going to get Rambo Redux?
Oh, we are indeed. I just have to undo this because I haven't worn this shirt since last year, and it's a bit tighter than it was, and oh my God. Oh, that is so much better now. Oh, thank God.
Oh no, the testosterone broke free.
Please don't. Yeah, literally. Please continue.
Am I the only one that fits into last year's suit?
Well, yeah, because you live a wonderfully healthy diet of like Latvian sausage and beer.
That's true, I do.
Noted health freak.
Okay, so
Syrran. There we go.
God.
I wasn't wearing glasses last year. It's a bit more difficult now.
Put
Please
your
carry
Stevie
on. Don't let me
Wonders
stop
back
you,
on.
please.
How could I not? Podcast listeners, you have no idea what you're missing out on right now.
Seriously, www.youtube.com/timelinestalks. Catch up.
Idle, your head is much larger than you think it is. Yes. All right, there we go.
Are you saying that from
Middle manager Rambo comes to the rescue.
Bambo.
I'm gonna fuck up that photocopier.
I believe you.
So,
all right, let's go.
So Syrran, anyway, this is his crew. He's great for new players who may not be loaded with Command Dip Psi. He's got okay voyage numbers. He's got 2 pretty good gauntlet rolls. Now, that skill set, they're going to be covered by a crew like Sirach, who came in 3rd place in the best after the mega voting. He's got enough traits that he'll be pop an event bonus from time to time, and those traits also mean good collection value. So he's kind of an all-arounder. Even on ships, he does 450% damage. Granted, it's behind a cloak trigger, but
not bad.
So there's a little bit of something for everyone there. I personally will try to grab a copy or 2 because this has been a pretty good mega. So in terms of recaps, if I get a star 2 on him,
winter.
If I get a star 2 on him and I missed out on his event, I would kind of feel bad. So I guess I'll grab 1 or 2. He's got 3 collections right now with a couple more traits in tow. So he's not a powerhouse, but he's good enough in a lot of areas. And boys, tell me about this wonderful art. This is fantastic. Yeah. I'm so happy it's not like a purple or blue because I want to use this art on my roster.
Yeah, he
is notably orange, but it makes sense because it's with Vulcan's tones. Yeah, everyone wears orange. It's fine. In fact, you'll win if you don't.
You just realised he's got Tchar on there. I think I forgot to put the skip. He shouldn't. Well, he has a Tchar, but he.
I've been adding the tiers back because we are.
I realised I forgot the skip tier option on my export thing.
We are seconds away from launching Big Book 2.0, so the tiers are making a comeback.
I think over the.
No, but you said seconds, but not how many seconds. It could be.
Oh yes. Well, whilst we still have viewers that haven't tuned out yet, just to make you aware, this is our last show of this year. We'll be coming back on January 12th for another Timelines Talks. There are some other. We're going to do another STA as well, and I'm probably going to be streaming some random stuff over the time. So keep an eye on the events channel in the Discord to see what's coming up. But yeah, we'll be coming back. But yes, anyway, sorry. Please carry on. Fantastic art. It's very kind of grandiose for the character. I think it's very. Appropriate. It's not sort of a reduction of what you expect of the leader of the Syrranites.
I also love the kind of the subtle the gust of the wind that was like drawing his cloak to give him that, like you say, that grandiosity, that sense of this is a man of wonder and of like great wisdom and knowledge. That being said, I have one minor quibble, nothing to do with the tribble. So he is named Syrran. And he is notably a leader of Syrranites. And we had this conversation of should he have the Syrranite trait? And it doesn't really matter for gameplay purposes. All it would mean is you can retrieve him with a 50-50 chance of,
I mean, that does matter, though.
It does matter. But then it kind of went into a bit more of an ecumenical discussion about whether or not is Jesus Christ a Christian?
Okay, so this is different.
These are the talks we have.
And I went back and actually watched the 3-parter recently. The Syrranites believe that their interpretation of Sirach's teachings are the true one, and the modern Vulcans of the time have strayed a little bit from the path. So Syrranite essentially means that you subscribe to a certain belief of Sirach's teachings, which he does, and so he fits the. Just because they borrowed his name, it's really more about Sirach than it is about Syrran. So I think he really should have the trait because it's a way of life. It's a belief that he does share.
Yeah, and this is the kind of crew I could see yourself retrieving because, like you said, not only is he usable right now, right here, but he has enough collections right now, and he could have more down the line, like spiritual. I could easily see hitting. And honestly, for people who really like this trio of episodes, we haven't got a lot of good representation from it yet. We've got Desert Archer, who sucks. We've got Desert Pole, who is good, who's a 4-star. Saval and Forest arguably are generic variants who aren't really from this episode.
We have Young Tapao.
We have Young Tapao. And it's like, I would like Syrran, I would like proper Sirach fused Archer as an actual card. I think that would be baller. But I could see myself, even if I don't grab a copy of him in the event, which I might not, I'm a little bit low on chronotons, I would like to retrieve him down the road just because he is a really cool character.
Dan in chat says, I step away for 5 minutes and Idol becomes dad at a wedding. That is so true.
Fragrance Free Vassal says, I downloaded this game. Is there any kind of referral code or anything I could use to support you guys? That's nice. There isn't, unfortunately.
Oh,
that'd be
lovely.
nice. Thank you. And unfortunately, you've downloaded this game.
Show up in chat and heckle us call us fools and clowns, and that's the best support
and
you
shills.
can give
Don't
us.
forget shills.
Yeah, call us shills too. We love that.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to read a little excerpt from Memory Alpha. In the script of The Forge, Syrran was described thus: as Syrran interacts with Archer and T'Pol, we'll see that unlike other Vulcans we met in this time, he has the serene emotional control of a Kolinar master. And that really fits in with the art. You could almost picture a hero trait. Now, that's not accurate to the episode, but just the Superman pose and the cape blowing in the wind, I really love the flavor of this crew overall, and I think they did right by him. I kind of wished he was almost a clone of Sirach in terms of skill order, and he does have strong proficiencies. I think that would really be a great thematic link, and they did close enough.
Yeah, I was also thinking about this, and you were talking about the emotional control of a Kolinar master, and that kind of brings me back to one of the things that I like about, especially the Enterprise arc, which is that it delves into the fact that everyone's pointing out, why are the Vulcans in this time period such dicks?
Yeah.
Why are they all assholes? And then the show goes out of its way to say, yes, they are assholes, and here's why. And it's because the ultimate tension at the heart of Vulcan philosophy is, and it's also kind of reflected in how some of the actors approach it when they play one-off episode Vulcans, is that they mistake emotional control for emotional suppression. Yeah. And so they play it very woodenly and as if they have no emotion. And it's no, the actual Vulcan tension is you have emotion, you feel it, but you are in ultimate control over it. And that's what someone like Mark Leonard or Tim Russ or Joni Balak, all of these characters, they managed to bring that forward in their performance. And I feel like Syrran's actor, I don't know him off by heart, but he manages to bring that across in only 1 or 2 scenes that he's in. He does a very good job.
Michael Nouri is the actor.
So, 2 things. First off, fragrance-free Vaseline. I'm not drinking one of your new Saint Ops cocktails because you haven't sent me any of the ingredients yet, so I'm waiting on that. Second off, what was the name of the King Dick Vulcan in these episodes?
Velas. I was just going to shout him out.
Who was also Admiral, what's his name?
Leighton.
Leighton, that's it, Admiral Leighton. And that's because I always think of that thing. He basically played the same character twice, essentially, really.
Yeah, that's never happened in Star Trek before.
No. But yeah, we need Velas in the game. I would enjoy. We need more villains. I'd like to see more nefarious.
It's almost like we could have some kind of villain event that is strung out over 4 weeks with thematically appropriate crew we could compete for.
Yeah, I got a stick up for Shyborn here. Stars, you listed off all sorts of quintessential Vulcans and left one Leonard Nimoy off the list, but.
Do I have to say it?
I know, it's there by implication.
He's a cultural icon.
It's the Salat.
Fuck you for saying I should have to say it. Everyone knows. It's Leonard fucking Nimoy. The OG.
Speaking of, have you seen that trailer for that? Sorry, I'm gonna tangent you, motherfucker. Have you seen that trailer for that Star Trek Resurgence game that's just come out? A new Star Trek game that's coming out, which I'm excited for because it's new Star Trek.
Which is set in the Next Generation era, and it has Spock in it.
It has Spock, and I was going to address that accent that they're trying to nail old Spock. Did you listen to? Have you listened to it?
Yeah,
it's trying.
ropey.
We'll see.
Yeah,
how
if you
that
close
turns
your
out.
eyes, you might be able to place it, but it's not quite there.
I feel like it might play out better in the episode when you have time to really like sink into it and like listen to him speak in a non-isolated soundbite. But to be fair, it doesn't look like it has the biggest budget in the world. No. But who cares? New Star Trek game.
The first new Star Trek game since what was it? Star Trek Legacy in 2005, 6 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to Syrran. No, he's a good card. If you're a new player, you might want to try to grab 1 star. And yeah, Robert Foxworth. If we get his Velasan game, that would be cool. It's always nice to have new Vulcans.
Let's have both. Why not?
Yeah, you can have both. Actually, when you glance at him, it's different enough that you don't place it right away, but his voice is so distinctive that as soon as he speaks, you're like, all right, it's that guy. So
yeah. And you know what? I think for comparison's sake, it feels almost like they're kind of contractually obligated to throw one of these in every mega. This is the Tribble Sulu or the Zahian Adira of this mega, where they are perfectly good. They are not like outstanding, especially because we've got like some other decent, like we've had like Chancellor Kempek, who's like a good collection piece, and we've had
Prophet
oh god, I've more forget Sahil and Kira. Thank you. My god, my brain is nowhere. And he is sort of the contractually obligated good command side crew. So if you grab him in a recap, don't chuck him. You might want him.
I think he's probably better than those two because he's got broader utility between Gauntlet and ship damage and probably better traits than some of the others. Yeah. But yeah, Kimpek's kind of a dud. Syrran is nice, but your mileage may vary. If you're a late game player, he might only be collections to you. But it's nice to have something for everyone in this mega. I think they've done well overall in terms of crew quality and usability.
Speaking of size, since we're on the topic of Kempek, there has been a name change in the game, a couple of name changes, which we mentioned last week that perhaps Kempek should be Chancellor Kempek and Jameson should be Admiral Mark Jameson. And lo and behold, the name change has taken a front, and Prophet Kira's outfit has been fixed. So thank you WRG for doing the right thing and actually keeping the
actual unabashed props for
and
that feedback.
Also putting it in a changelog and letting us know rather than just suddenly looking at the game and go, oh, so that's. Yes, more of that. Thank you.
Well done. Very well done.
So they released Jameson, Patar, and Kimpek in a row, and they gave 2 of them their title, and Patar is still waiting for her Admiral title. So, I guess I'm looking a gift horse in the mouth a little bit, but
I think we can still petition for Admiral Patar. I think that makes sense. I think they should definitely do that one.
Take Dalge's hidden Admiral trait and give it to Patar.
Just move it across. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. The Super Rare crew you can also win this week is from Discovery Season 3, ending the spoiler alert, Cause of the Burn himself, Su'Kal, 2-skiller Super Rare crew. I love this character. I love this arc.
Mr. Noodle.
Mr. Noodle himself, yes.
Noted Noodle Mister.
Yes. I think you and me, Stars, definitely waxed poetic about this character when we last sort of spoke about this arc in Disco. I think it was during it was the costume mega, wasn't it, with Human Saru and Burnham and that. You know, this is definitely one of my favourite additions to the lore. But I know some people are a bit sort of up and down on sort of like where Su'Kal stands and sort of where the burn came from. But I'm glad he's in the game. It's a shame the card is a bit of a nerd.
Well, it's this thing of what's the number 2 Voyager? Oh, it's Lieutenant Sahil, who I suppose did manage to travel from one starbase to another over the course of 40 years. Meanwhile, one of the most powerful beings that we've seen in Star Trek who was able to do a D&D-esque destruction of all dilithium in the galaxy is a Dipsec 2-skiller.
Dipsec. Diplomacy? Really? He was pretty withdrawn. Very kind of...
He was open to Saru, I guess.
His interactions with Burnham also were pretty...
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Hold on now, I'm commenting on a Discovery episode that I went back and watched, so...
We'll get you yet.
I like the art. It's perfectly fine. I wouldn't mind if we got another variant down the road that was maybe the Burn Su'Kal, who was... I don't know if he's appeared in Season 4 just yet.
No spoilers, but yes, he is.
Spoilers.
No spoilers. You can say the actor's in it. He is in there. There is definitely room for another Su'Kal variant.
Okay,
Yeah,
this was, if I hadn't already recorded the nominees for best flavor text, this would have made the list. So let me read this off. Sukal lives. Oh, damn it! I forgot Syrran. We'll go back to that one. So this is a great flavor text. Sukal lives in a hologram made by his mother before her death. To be saved, he must face his greatest fear, another reality. This is like,
that's
this
pretty
is
good.
what's it? Don LaFontaine,
so nice.
the guy that used to do all the movie in a
yeah.
world. Like, he must face his greatest fear, another reality. Oh, it's so good. I really like this. This is a great flavor text. This is fantastic flavor text.
General says
Syrran?
Kamanaru Sukal. Kaminar Sukal, definitely. Yeah, I think you could have a fusion crew of Kaminar, Saru, and Sukal, where they're sitting on that hilltop overlooking sort of like the.
That'd be nice. That'd be actually genuinely really wholesome. Yeah.
Yeah, but no,
Okay, I guess this is why. I guess this is why I forgot Syrran's flavor text. It reads, a Vulcan philosopher who guides Archer and T'Pol across Vulcan's forge. That's fine. I mean, that places him in the episode, and actually that has the name of the episode, so that's fine. It's
Can't
just
wait for
not
the trait philosopher to be added.
special.
What we've forgotten about.
That's right, the Roland historian.
Let's see, who do you have? Socrates, Syrran,
Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Flint.
Yeah, Flint. No, noted Leonardo da Vinci variant.
No. So anyway, Sukal is he's nothing, sadly. And we'll talk again more about this.
Survivalist, I believe. That's it.
Yeah, more about this with Flint, but like, I don't like it when they do. I guess they're trying to sell the most amount of cards, and it kind of makes sense. But when you give in-universe, powerful, awesome beings of great stature, and you stick them with like crummy stats, and then you give a guy who walks down a hallway the number 2 Voyager in the game, it's like, okay, that's a little on the nose. I know you guys are trying to sell cards, but it's like, come on, throw us a bone or something. So anyway,
let's talk about the new objective events, because there's been a bit of a flurry of them coming in since we actually last spoke. I think we're now up to the 3rd one with the new skirmish objective event, which is coming very
They're popping out of the snow like daisies.
Yes. Yeah.
by the way, just sorry to cut in. Just today, they announced next week's objective event entitled "Prepare for an Objective Event." Starts on the 21st, and it's objective events all the way down. So
you can play objective events to play another objective event.
And the sequel, Prepare for an Expedition event, will be premiering shortly. Much to idle dismay.
So the rundown, next week's objectives will be level a crew 90 times, fuse a crew, immortalize a crew.
They seem to be going hard on that fusing and immortalizing, don't they? I wonder how long they can do that before people go, I need to buy sites. Like, I feel that's gonna reach its natural.
Well, I feel like there's a point where people are gonna be like, alright, knock it off.
Yeah,
I'm kind of tired of it. Yeah.
And the rewards, by the way, in case you guys are enthralled with this, training programs, probably purple, replicator rations, probably purple, and chronotons. Ooh.
How many? 2,000? 6,000?
Probably 400 to 500. Yeah. So a day's worth of
voyages. An embarrassment of riches.
I feel privileged.
I'm curious. I'm going to open up my inventory and I'm going to have a look. So I have 67 one-star rations, 10 simple rations, 63 intermediate rations, 10,187 purple rations, and 2,025 gold rations.
But
so clearly I'm hurting.
2026. I feel like you're not.
Clearly I'm hurting. Clearly I'm hurting for rations.
The one thing I will say, the one good thing in these objective events is the shuttle tokens. That's the kind of one thing, and they're on the easy side. They're on the just complete missions, do shuttles, play Gauntlet. Get the tokens there, because you need those for faction events. So I'm happy that's there and not in the I'm talking it up now, but they're not in the Immortalizer crew to get tokens. But
no, don't go too far here. No, come on.
Yeah, all right, I'll shut up now.
By the way, the other 3 objectives next week are complete 5 Commander Arena battles, 5 Captain Arena Division battles, and 10 Admiral. To that I say, you are not going to get me to fill my inbox with more blue schematic spam for the next 6 months. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to finish next week's objective event.
I have seen a lot of rhetoric about people saying like, "Oh gosh, it's more grind. Oh gosh, it's I'm being forced into doing this." My retort to that is, just don't do them, because I've looked at objective events and I've looked at them kind of going, what am I getting out of this? I'm getting a few merits, I'm getting a few crons, an occasional token here and there. I don't need to do this. Like, this isn't because it's in the game doesn't mean you're legally obliged to play it. Like, just skip.
Wait, on the other hand, I feel like there was a bit of a misstep in which they premiered their first objective event, and I feel like they wanted to get the fish on the line, so they put a 4 out of 5 gold with a collection and a
I think
main
they will
cast
do that
name
again,
on it.
though. I think that was the natural progression of replacing the temporary achievements. Come on.
Here's the thing, though. Why did you lead with that and then proceed to have like 3 duds in a row? Running at the same time as that one. Couldn't have, even if they had thrown in like 72 Dill, I feel like that would have been enough of an inducement that people would be like, well, it's not completely pointless, but it's still just like, don't lead off with the big one, then go, and then maybe there'll be a big one later on.
I think this is their plan to have big ones as sort of like little ones for people to sort of pop in and out, and I think a lot of people are taking them a bit too seriously. As like I've got to complete everything. And like there are like Shai says, all of a sudden Idle ceases to understand the nature of addiction. I get it. People are completionists. I know that, but I think that's kind of a wake up call to those people just to say just don't. You're not missing much. You really aren't. Like maybe a couple of tokens, a couple of 100 crons. It's nothing. You can't make up like you can't make up a later date.
So we've been generally positive, much more positive than normal on the show, and I think there's more. There's probably a little more positivity yet to come buried somewhere in the third hour. That being said, I think these kind of suck. If I'm being honest, it started out okay, and they've gone downhill precipitously since then. You're asking players in the middle of a mega with a month-long secondary objective event running to do these extra daily chores for a pittance of rewards in a month where people are making holiday plans, they're traveling, they're trying to buy presents, and it's like, it's, okay, I've lambasted people before for saying slap in the face when it comes to video games, and this is an insult to me. I don't generally believe that, but it's bordering on it, because it's like, you're asking us to test your beta 4 times in a row, that it's a beta, it's going to have bugs. We even announced on in the communications forum and in-game that there might be issues. All of that pile on top of each other. And you're offering us purple trainers and purple replicator rations. I didn't finish the last one. I'm not going to finish the next one. And even the completionists at some point, you risk burning them out. Completionism in games is fine. I'm that way myself a lot of times. But if you're asking people to complete like very menial tasks, or plan stuff around, like hang on to your one of the things that was hilarious, they announced 4 hours and 51 minutes after the last event, you're going to need to fuse your crew. So anyone that airlocked their 4 copies of the purple or 3 copies of the purple right after the event, sucks to be you, because now they're gone and you're going to have to either pull packs or hope your voyage brings you duplicates to fuse a crew in the next, in the event that's starting in 12 hours after the announcement or something. So it's like, it's misstep after misstep. And it's, I think Big McLarch said earlier today, which I agree with, they have the framework in place. Objective events could be something, but they have to work on the pacing, they have to work on the rewards, they have to work on all sorts of things. And debuting this as, please test our beta during a very busy month, during a mega, during another objective event, and we're giving you fucking purple trainers? It's like, guys, is it going to kill you to put some honor in there, or maybe 100 dilithium or something? It's like, it's
or
not
a
an
single
insult,
premium
but
pull. I would actually put a single premium pull.
Yeah.
And it's also tying into that. It's like, it's not even a case of players want rewards. It's a case of there are rewards you can give out that mean that you will get better feedback and more people testing this, and isn't that ultimately what this is for?
They had. The
surely having people tune out is bad for your beta.
The overkill was the original mini event they had a year and a half ago, whenever it was, when they gave away about 6,000 dilithium, which was the
you
other
think
end
they're
of the
regretting
scale.
that one?
Yeah, and I can't. They said they're not going to repeat that, but they want people to test a beta. That's how you do it.
I mean, there's a difference between 7,000 dilithium and 10 purple trainers, right? So.
Oh, what are you talking about? There's no difference.
Corporate needs you to find the difference between these two pictures. They're both purple, so.
They are.
Okay. Anyways, I don't. Well, if you want to move on, I'm going to poll check because I want to know
let's poll check.
how folks feel about this.
I'm happy with
Let's ask
skipping them.
the little people how they feel.
Okay, guys. What would you like to see in an objective event reward? Like, what's valuable to you? Obviously, we're not talking about premium pulls or sites at this point. That'd be great. Give us a load of premium packs, but I can't see them doing it. That'd be nice, but... Or even, actually, I tell you what. Sorry to cut you off. A purple site for completing all objectives. I would go for a purple site, so super rare site. I think that's a nice balance because a lot of people need super rare sites. That's useful.
I would, especially if a faction, like a pure faction or a skirmish were coming up, I would put one copy of the upcoming event purple in there so that you don't have to pull a pack. Because I think people would fall over themselves to get that event crew early and equipped up and ready for that event, so they can fuse directly into them, or they can just be like, I don't have to pull a pack, or I don't have to use a site. That would be enough.
Ship schematics
doesn't have to be all
for the upcoming ship would be interesting. I mean, I know some people like that. Enough to build the one out of 10 copy. That would be very decent. So you only get what you get 2 or 10 out of that anyway. So what does it matter?
Poll is up in chat. Let us know what you think about objective events.
I'm going to vote right now. I've done my part.
Okay, let's move on while the votes are tallied, shall we?
Okay, so the upcoming flashback event where you can win your very own copy of the seductive green Orion herself, Navaar, played by the same actress.
Saia Batten.
Indeed. You might know as Irina from the Delta Flyers. No, not Delta Flyers.
I feel like that gets brought up as often as my trivia about Mitchell and Dana's eyes. That bit.
Bro, she's super hot though, so I'm gonna keep bringing it up. Sorry. She was also
Timeline Talks recommended.
She was also the original Toraziel, but and one of the other actresses. Dude, it ain't easy being cheesy. No, it ain't easy being gray. The Cardassian makeup is a big stress on people. Yeah. I mean, even Andrew Robinson, who played Garrick, said he was pretty close to quitting at one point because it's like a little bit of claustrophobia, which they worked into his storyline.
Well, yeah, I remember he mentioned when he was doing the Dominion prison arc, and he was in that back bit doing the fixing the transmitter to signal the runabout. He mentioned, we need you to act like you're claustrophobic and in absolute paroxysms of terror. And he was like, I was ill, I am actually claustrophobic, and I'm in this tight space wearing Cardassian makeup. I don't have to act.
But speaking of this card, and should one push in a flashback to go to the 1,500 rank reward for this Orion with 0 collections with a fairly common skill set, and one Voyage rank 162 isn't shabby, but
you can get Syrran this week, which was way better.
Yes.
So when she came out, I think she was like right around top
70?
50 Voyager.
Okay. And
she was good, and I think she had a top 10 base as well. For what events you might ask? Well, she's had over a dozen events. Essentially, this is not a sleeping giant. This is a sleeping average-sized person because she has 5 traits. Sorry, she has 5 traits that could be something, including romantic, which we've bandied about forever. As give us a February romantic mega and a collection attached and a Smitten Jean-Luc Picard campaign. Throw it all in February.
Yeah.
So
now, I have to ask. Not a criminal?
Should be a criminal.
Conspiring to take over a Starfleet ship and under false pretenses and seducing, that's not criminal act somehow?
Kirk is technically a criminal, but there you are.
That's a lot of hair splitting. You have scoundrel. You could say saboteurs, since they do undermine operations on Enterprise. Criminal, I feel like criminal has to have some measure of prosecution. Which
wondered where you were going with that.
I don't know. I think the case can be made, but obviously, just like everything else, it's up to WRG's dartboard whether or not she gets traits or not. I think 5 traits plus Orion, which I think we have 7 or 8 Orions a game. 6 traits. It could be something in the future. She's definitely not bottom of the barrel, but unless you're adding a Stardo crew you already have, I think this is the easy post-mega, come down, skip this event, spend time with your family on the holidays.
There's
what if I
definitely-
want to avoid my family?
Well, then you have Saya Batten's wonderful art.
Listen, who was the person at WRG was just like, I need all 3 of these Orions in the game. They have to come in now, all of them, and you have to craft their lingerie. Like,
Do we
no
have
questions
all 3?
asked.
We have Navaar, we have
we do,
Morass,
we-
and who's the other one?
We have Dinesh.
Yes.
Dinesh.
We have Osira from Discovery. We have Orion Vina.
Well, I was specifically talking
Orion
about the band
Slaver.
3. I was still-
Orion Slaver. So we have, those 3, and then we have 6 overall.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like,
No Tendi.
Yet.
Oh,
Tendi.
we've got to get Tendi soon.
Fleet shout out from Janus Idanian. I am making a bold prediction from... a player shout out, sorry. I am making a bold prediction for the next Mega February. It is going to be called February Beyond the Stars, and it will feature the rest of the Far Beyond the Stars crew and Vanity Collection, including the Wolf variant as the Gold Collection reward. Interesting theory there, Mr. Idanian.
Genos, don't break my heart.
I think we've had enough. We've had enough wharf for a while. I mean, we can cool it on the wharfs just a little while longer.
But what about Second Wharf?
Okay, hold on. For our podcast listeners, how do you feel about objective events? 81% say it's an okay start, but it needs improvement. 10% say they're great. I do them all. 10% say more busy work. No, thank you. People have been asking for a killing game vanity as well for a long time, and there are enough. I think almost all of them are in game at this point. You have like Resistance Neelix, Mademoiselle Deneuf, Bartender 2 Vok. We have like so many. They could easily make that.
We're missing a few people we could get. We could get Tactile Neck, Janeway, and Seven.
Yeah.
Because they change into cool 40s turtlenecks for that,
Every
that
time
one
I watch
scene.
that, it just reminds me of LOLO. And just the...
It just reminds me of
I shall not
Archer,
seize
where
this
it's like
class.
I debut the Tactile Neck.
I shall speak only once.
We could get Brigitte Torres's Nazi officer dad.
I was just going to shout him out because his name is J. Paul Bamer, and I think he's great. He plays one, which is a very emotional, gripping Voyager episode. I love that. He plays a Cardassian Vornar in DS9 who only has like 2 lines, and then he plays Mistral in Carbon Creek.
Wow,
which we can get into at a later date. I kind of like that episode. And I like Mistral, and then he plays 3 Nazis, and
because he plays it in Voyager Killing Game, and I believe in the Enterprise 2-part Stormfront.
Oh yeah, is he in that?
Yes,
wow.
And 0 Hours. So I feel like they're probably not going to go the Nazi route. Like if they were, we would have gotten like Spock and Kirk already with the armband. They're just not going to go that route. So really,
I mean, we have that corrosion in an iron cross and everything. Like,
it's the interesting line. Like, I mean, as much as I would like to have the artwork for Nazi Kirk, I also don't want it for that same reason. I think
disguised Kirk.
Yeah.
Look, Star Trek has been around how many years now? 60 years?
60, yeah, wow.
Almost
here's
70.
The thing. If you erase history, then you don't learn from it. So there is that.
It is a cultural icon unto itself. And if you go back and watch some of the TOS, of course, it's like really cheesy, and some of it's hard to. The Yangs and the Combs, the Eid Plebnista
blah, blah, blah.
is for everyone. And he starts like reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, and they play the music in the back. Okay, I know I'm in front of a flag right now as I say this. So it's like it's a little on the nose.
What do I have to redeem my hairflips not to make you recite the that scene?
The Eid Plebnista, I'll do it some other time. I promise.
I have 15,000 hairflips. That's enough, right?
Oh wow! I've got
if you get to 20,000, we can do that scene. So anyway, it's
I need another 5,000, and I can do it.
As Galaxy Quest says, it's an historical document. I don't personally have a problem with it. Like, are people going to go out and start saluting swastikas because they have a Nazi Kirk in game? No, and they're not going to call them Nazi Kirk even if they were to add them. But it's an episode of Trek. I think it's fair game. So that's just my opinion.
And the only thing I can think of is, would it cause issues in Germany? Because I do recall there is an issue with depicting certain things.
Yeah, so I mean, you can be arrested if you. I mean, I'm not a native, so I can't speak to this. I'm sure some of our viewers can. But if you do it seriously, not like just as a little joke or whatever, they will jail you for displayed memorabilia and such. But I mean, a little bit of a tangent. People don't really realize the what's the word for it? The culture here. Because my brother, who was born and raised in America, he wanted to visit me, and we were talking about COVID regulations, this and that.
Just as an aside, for people that don't know, Otto lives in Germany.
Yeah, sorry. And so we were talking about the COVID restrictions are a little more strict here than they are in other places. And he does the fake mustache and the salute, and I go, bro, you may think that's funny in America, but if you do that here, it's not good. So, I don't know how. There's no governing body, I imagine, that would ban the game if they were to do it, but I can definitely see the WRG would want to stray away from it.
Yeah.
So
Genos is saying that Vost's art is different in German versions of timelines, which I wasn't aware of.
Really? I know you can change the language. I didn't know that changed the art.
I'd have to get a citation on that, and not the usual kind of honorable citation.
Okay. How did we go from the very lovely Saya Batten to Nazi Germany?
It's a slipperier road than you think.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen.
If you're first-time watchers, let's talk about the upcoming Super Rare, the final one for this mega, the fucking best artwork, which I wish we could have put in, but it's far too late. Look at that bird. He is pissed. This is great. Scorcher, Super Rare.
He looks imperious as fuck. I love it.
So cool. I want to be him.
Okay, so
I want to be him when I grow up.
When they had this name announced in the mega announcement, Idol said, "I hope we get this image from Memory Alpha," because it's just him standing there. And I thought, well, it's kind of lazy to just take the Memory Alpha pose. But then I watched the episode, and he makes the pose throughout the entire episode, so it's okay.
It's the kind of no, I'm not gonna F the kind of pose, but they've kind
now
of...
you look... Yeah, no, he's got the Pingu thing going on.
Yeah, but but they've actually, this is the way they've taken, the Memory Alpha art, or the art from the episode, and just scaled it up 1,000% and made something really awesome, because this is the opposite of Lara. This is Lara was just holy shit.
Can you bring up those other crew, Lara and Rescue Timuhura? Because it's sort of a de-evolution of
this is actually just sumptuous art. I love it so much. Because it's there is... You can't accuse them of any kind of laziness with this. There is no... They literally don't have the reference material to sketch off of. Someone was very painstaking. It's so well captured. It's beautiful.
You know what? Actually, hang on a minute. Hang on. Give me 2 seconds. Right, we're just gonna... Fuck, where's the button? Where's the button?
Where's the button? How to get burned? How to get burned?
There we go. Hang on, wait a second.
In the category of Best Artwork,
Tchar wins. Because that's just fucking awesome bullshit. Let's go on.
Yeah, so you can see the evolution of Task Crew sort of on the screen. They're not in chronological order. I think the issue is they probably have a harder time drawing realistic humans than they do something like a bird or a Kukulkan or a serpent or whatever.
I think Rescue Team Hero is good. I think it's more essentially copying Michelle Nichols in that pose. But yeah, I think, definitely.
The art is yellow.
Not wrong. Actually, not wrong.
Not wrong. He wins most yellow in the good way.
Yeah, so this fits the style of the rest of the game, and I do like it. I wish they'd done Lara that way. She does look like a sticker for a even worse mobile game.
Is that the Flintstones? Like this, if you put her in place of Wilma or Betty, that's who would notice?
Yabba dabba, don't pull for this card.
Hold on, that's copyright infringement on Big Mikularchu's title.
That does have his dad humor all around it. Tchar, I don't care about the rest of his stats. I'm gonna finish him off and use his art, I think, for my avatar for a while.
It's just it's the extreme, isn't it? It's not just like you say. Someone has completely made this from the ground up. This isn't putting your mask and paper over Memory Alpha and sketching around it like they have done sometimes. But this is completely brand new. It's completely original and it is fantastic. And why isn't he the number 2 Voyager?
I wouldn't mind that. I'd be happy without that.
So how many?
No collections yet.
No collections, but how many characters are we missing from the Jihad, the episode he's from? It's pretty much all that.
There's that weird, like, arched back cat creature at the beginning that tells them what their mission's going to be.
Thing, yeah.
Yeah, and we don't have Kirk and Spock from that. I actually went back and rewatched this.
So bad.
So I think we let the art thing breathe, and that's good because it's it's wonderful art. It should be praised. I'm going to look at it for an extra 3 seconds before I freeze them. That being said,
idle for a moment. Can you just have a look at the show chat for a moment? Idle. Auto, keep on vamping.
What really? All right. That being said, they completely shit the bed when it came to the rest of this crew. They hold on. Now I gotta look. What are you writing to each other?
Oh, that's amazing. Yes, thank you. Whoever made that. Who made that? Hang on, I'm gonna bring up
credit to Nifty Mittens for the beautifulness you're about to see.
Thank you, Nifty Mittens.
All right, let's see this.
This has to be witnessed.
Dun 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 dun.
Great works of Soviet art like Battleship Potemkin. This
comrade.
Okay,
that's good.
You were saying about them shitting the bed on the rest of the Tchar's card.
Yeah, Tchar, by the way. The T it's like pterodactyl. I mean, with a silent P instead of a T. They shit the bed. Again, this is like the third time in like a month or something. They copied the first and second sentence of his memory alpha page, put it as the flavor. Now, Shan on the forums did say, we're going to fix it, it's not final. They got to have a better checklist because it keeps happening. You're just copying someone else's work, putting it out there. They didn't even bother capitalizing the sentence.
Yeah. It was
Secondly, his 4 traits all come from, again, the first 2 sentences of his memory alpha page. I suspect someone did not watch this episode. It's on their big whiteboard somewhere, and they said, okay, we'll just do this another task room. Maybe they're doing an art test for lower decks. Who knows? So the art is
the artist guy knocked it out of the park, and then everyone else kind of fudged it. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's missing like 4 or 5 traits, and it's like, if you guys had watched the episode, like you said, they did EM3 green, Lara sword, and they are mostly correct on the traits. So you can tell that someone went through, watched the episode, traded them correctly. This crew, it feels like a total phone-in from that point of view. So it's a dirty feeling because I love the art and I want to give them a compliment, but when you push out a 0 effort card like this, if no one's going to watch the episode, if you're not going to do a proper flavor text, like it's 1 sentence, then push the card back. Put something else out, like Sukhal's wonderful flavor text, or Syrran, who has a lot of flavor with great art and an accurate stats and all that stuff. And it's like we're getting a whiplash from rubber banding between crew that they have to fix right after release and crew that are fantastic and like, you know, Flint is pretty good, who we'll get to in a minute. They're going back and forth, and it's like, I don't know. Obviously, we're not going to call anyone out by name, but someone is not doing their job there. And it's kind of sad to see because for us nerds who love the details, this is a crew who, outside the art, is missing the details, in my opinion.
So he's tier 3. Why?
Okay,
That's
so
not a final tier? Or?
He does have some gauntlet usability. Boosted, his command roll is 300 to 750. He's got some other rolls too.
I didn't know that.
He also does 350% damage in the arena if you can meet his trigger. So there's some stuff there. I mean, we're still working on Big Book 2, so the weights and stuff are not finalized, but he has a little bit of utility in game.
Definitely good new person, new player card, definitely.
Yeah, maybe.
What you're saying is best Kentucky Fried crew in the game.
Who was it that said his art is yellow? Ronaldo. We should have you on the show. You're great dad jokes. I love the art, but this is one in a series, and I'm going to belabor this point because it keeps happening. Guys, come up with a decent checklist. Make sure you don't do cute, furry tribbles about Koshi feelings affection. Like, you got to do a little bit better. I love the flavor, but if one sentence is too much work for you, then just strip it and we'll go back to business as usual, because you guys got to do better with the little details. If you're saying this is no longer a utility game, this is no longer, we're not going to release these big use your crew kind of features in the game. If you want it to be a card collecting game, you got to get the details right. So
sure.
That's my negativity of the day.
Are you saying they have a list and they should be checking it twice? Trying to find which card has been naughty or nice.
Start singing.
Later. You also have something which was briefly touched on the forums by a good colleague of ours, No Name, about a certain privacy issue which we kind of haven't spoken about since the offer wall, but a little more information has come out about it.
Well, yeah, if it's going to be offer wall related, and I feel like it is kind of related to that, you have to say there is... today is going to be the day that we're going to bring it back to you.
Oh, we're all pulling out the lyrics tonight.
It's not exactly offer-all related. I would encourage you guys to go to the Bridge sub-forum on disruptivebeam.com or read what No Name Namer posted. The TLDR is whether or not you opt in to personalize ads, no matter what you do in this game, as soon as you initialize the client, a lot of personal information, IP address, all your device details and stuff are being sent through the Iron Source toolkit to a bunch of different ad providers. So, I mean, on one hand, you have people saying, well, every company does it. They sell your info. Well, that's true. But if you were one of the people that was upset about the offer wall and said, hey, my personal information, my privacy is important to me, you need to go read that. And I mean, even if you go look through their privacy policy, it basically says you can opt out of us sharing your data, but if you do, A, we may ignore that and share your data anyway, and B, we may charge you a fee for asking us to restrict access to your data. So it's your typical mobile game, social media type thing. All your data is being shared, whether you thought it was or not, by opting out of ads. And that's something you just have to be mindful of going forward. So
I think the issue, especially Namer had, was the difference between what was when we had the offer wall thing, we were talking about the privacy and the data that Iron Source was sending out, and they came back and said, look, this is the data that's being sent out, and this is what you are consenting to which we all kind of went, okay, thank you for being transparent. But I think there's been more data to say that even though if you don't consent, or if you do consent, no matter, that data gets sent out anyway. So a little bit of transparency around there would, I think, there's a little bit of clarity around those issues about, and okay, yeah, fine, all the companies, everyone else is doing it, is not necessarily the greatest excuse in the world, but it is something that does happen, and I think it's something that does need to address more on this space, I think, as it develops. But definitely, yeah, go on the forums, have a read of the data he's pulled out, and sort of see what is going where and whether you are comfortable with that. And if it comes down to the hard line of really like either play this game or accept it. And you have to kind of work out where it lies. But it would be nice for them to say, oh shit, we didn't know that, let's change it, but we'll see.
Regardless of the choices you end up making, it's better to be informed than not. It's the ultimate point.
Indeed. Transparency. Okay, let's move on. Sorry.
Let's move from the cloudy privacy issue to the new Healthy Discourse collection.
Yes,
aptly
named.
named.
Yes, aptly named. A new collection has hit the game. If you are a collector of communicators, if you love your Uhura.
I really like the Enterprise Communicator. I think it's a nice ode.
Do you know what? I just a badge with a doot. I don't know how they work, right? How do communicators in TNG work? How do they know where it is going? Or do they just go to everyone? It's like, Mr. Riker, I am taking my leave to go for a shit, and everyone hears it,
Plot twist, Idol, it's a show.
It doesn't matter. Oh, I see, it's plot powered.
Yes, absolutely.
I see.
For the same reason that no one uses skeletal locks on transporters, despite the fact that that's busted tech that everyone should use.
I'm locking onto your bones.
Anyway,
okay, before that goes sideways, yeah. Okay, so I'm sorry I didn't prepare a rundown ahead of time, but a few crew were bumped up to 5 collections because of this one. At the gold level, Borg Queen, Gunslinger Uhura, and Laborer Spock. And then at the purple level, Bajorn Dukat, who still has a billion more traits to go. He could end up with 9 or 10 collections. And at the rare level, Picard at Eladrel. So if you're a newer player joining us, first of all, welcome. We've been We've told you why you should and shouldn't play the game at this point. If you have Picard and Eladrel sitting around, it might not hurt to level him up. So,
do you like TA's crew but hate your information about your battery life? This is the game for you.
Right,
this is a big
Idle,
collection.
Talk to me as the noted collections enthusiast. Is this changed? By the way, Lieutenant Sahil, the recurring mega who you're collecting as of this moment, just picked up his third collection. Idle, has this changed who you're citing immediately?
Not quite. Well, for me, I mean, I'm rigorous. I have my list. It is Communicator has changed things because I think I'm now looking at it's such a big collection because, like, you know, and I love that they're releasing these big collections because with big collections we get a shitload of boosts for those of us that have enough crew immortalized. Even just the super rares, even if you've just been collecting those, you're going to be hitting up the 60s and 80s in these tiers. So you're getting big dip boosts. And the one thing we've noticed on the Timelines Talks
big
Discord,
dip energy, or someone might say.
Yeah, big dip energy. I love it. Is there having,
that's good.
There's you know, the estimates are going up. People are getting longer voyages. There's been more 12 hours coming in because of these bigger collections coming in with more boosts, and it's fantastic to kind of start seeing that bonus for essentially just having the crew in your roster. And yeah, it hasn't changed too much of what I'm doing at the moment because I'm focusing on Bada Bing. I want my go. But yeah, it's definitely going for, say, like Communicator 60 over, say, trying to finish the Inspiring collection is definitely sort of pushed that up in regards to sort of the... But it's about the skill as well. Like, I think this is pushing more science. I think, is this science and diplomacy and command, I believe?
Yeah, I believe
command.
Yeah, science is very much neglected, so that's nice that they've sort of pushed that up. Doesn't make much sense, but it's there.
I think they're kind of glancing at the level of boosts and roughly trying to keep them equal going forward, which is it makes sense. It's fine for me.
Definitely.
I've actually shifted toward just looking at crew's unboosted stats. Because as far as we're aware, this train is going to keep on rolling and destroy lives, families, and homes, running you over with their collections. So if you look at unboosted roughly month to month, that's going to be somewhat accurate. I want to quickly run down the list, going backwards by date added of communicators. So if you pick these up in packs or events and maybe you check them off your list, and maybe you want to go back to them. Ancient Humanoid, Lieutenant Sahil, Beowulf EMH, Transporter Chief Kyle, a purple and a 6-pack, Rurigan, Triple Sato, Triple Uhura, Countess Regina Bartholomew, and I'll end this on... No, sorry, Zairi, and I'll end this on Century Guinan, who's in the 6-pack right now. So those are your last 10 communicators.
Beowulf EMH, I don't think that... I don't remember that.
No.
I don't think he...
Oh,
I think you might have imagined that.
Lord Schweitzer, I meant to say.
That's the one.
Yeah. That's right. That jives. That's right.
Stars, talk to me about collections. Because you have the Maverick trait 100%, and you always love to talk about, I just cite for love. I'm not chasing stats. You revel in the fact that you don't have Captain Braxton finished. So, what do collections mean to you?
Aggressively so. I play badly, and I know it.
You cannot make me finish Braxton. I will finish Shivaline Marest before I finish Braxton. It is literally just the case of, like, if I can finish off a collection, if I'm close to a tier, then yeah, sure. But like, for instance, I am one card away from finishing the Jury Rigger collection. But in order to do that, I would have to take 2 stars on a Duelist Scotty, and I'm just not inclined to do that. I would rather finish another card that I can clear out of my crew space and make another crew slot. I could work on the long-term thing of getting Scapegoat O'Brien, but that would mean having to retrieve 4 stars of Diversion Yates. And it's like, yeah, I could do that, or I could throw 4 sites on a crew that is probably kind of terrible, but I like them.
No, stop having fun. Play this properly.
No, you can't make me. Not to mention, like, half the time it ends up working out in my favor anyway, because as we have pointed out, every trait is going to get a collection at some point. My awaiting Amanda Grayson's citation will make sense someday.
I think that's paid off, hasn't it? Is she a communicator?
It's a communicator.
Yeah, there you go. And so you're right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, a little bit of
I've
a pull in
vindicated
chat.
by history.
A little bit of a pull in chat. I'm getting the barometer temperature of how you guys feel about collections, since that is the hot topic around the teapot.
The collections are my orb of time, and I am present in front of this.
You're pondering it. You're pondering that orb.
I am. I've been transported back into the past. Do you remember the time before collections? What did we value in life then? Like, what was it? Just the top voyages?
Voyages, I believe. Yeah. What dark time?
Back in the dark times of 2020.
Speaking of voyages,
so the thing is, it's good to get bases like the really big base crew like Captain Tribble. They'll serve you well, but after that, I mean, they're doing such off the wall Maverick event and merchant event and weird stuff like that. It's just better to collect traits, and when their base pops a 2x bonus, you're going to use them even if they're crew like Zyri or whatever. So,
okay, moving on. Final conversations of the week. We had a couple of LTOs we didn't speak about last week because we were doing something else. I forget what now.
Something more important. Sure.
Something more important, surely, yes. Couldn't imagine what that might be. Let's talk about this week's Tuesday pack card. Flint, the TOS villain of the Piece 2 collection.
Villain? He was vindicated. Okay, he was a good guy. Kirk was the horn dog running around trying to sex up an android. I don't know.
Hey, noted Trek historian and authority Garrett Wong has said that he was a reluctant lover, and that is the narrative we are sticking to on this show.
Reluctant lover.
Reluctant.
6,000 years and several aliases have brought Flint several lifetimes worth of experience and ambition. That's good flavor. And I checked Memory Alpha to make sure it wasn't the first line of the page, and it wasn't, so good for them. Okay, so I watched this episode recently, and the TLDRs, he is Leonardo da Vinci. He is Johannes Brahms. He is an immortal human that has lived 6,000 years. He was born in something like 3000 BC, and he kept switching aliases to avoid suspicion. So he is all of these big figures of history. He is Lazarus, who has risen from the dead in the Bible. So presumably he met Jesus Christ and all these things.
Noted Supernight Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And so he's also Methuselah, the biblical character who lived for over 900 years. So in the episode, they beam down. Their sensors don't detect anything, of course. And they meet Flint. For podcast listeners, how do you feel about collections? 65% say collections are life. 29% say give us a new game mode. 6% say I'm starting to get fatigued with all these collections. So, yeah, Flint is essentially, he's human. He's not immortal, but he has this special regeneration that has allowed him to live for so long. So he has all of these past lifetimes of experience. And because it's TOS, of course, he builds the love of his life as an android who gets immediately seduced by Kirk, and she commits self-destruction rather than choose between the two of them as to which one to love. So there's a lot of TOS schmaltz in there, but it is a cool case history of what if someone were to live among us under these aliases and we never knew how powerful they really are. So, and
I do love the very different treatment of this character type, because on the one hand you have Star Trek who goes with this kind of route, and then in Marvel Comics you have Apocalypse, who's a very different kind of character.
In terms of the power scale, he's on the Su'Kal, well, maybe not, almost Su'Kal level of universe-changing experience. And so that does, of course, because we're starting to pay attention to these now with collections, he is missing a lot of traits. That being said, he has more traits than most. Artist, caregiver, romantic, cultural figures, cyberneticist, duelist, musician, resourceful. So he's got a pair of collections right now that could easily be 6 collections by the end of next year. He's an okay Voyager with a unique skill order among Gold Crew. Sexi is something that can be difficult to stack. He's got a little bit of gauntlet use. If you guys pulled the Stamets pack for tactical Stamets and have used them once or twice in Gauntlet, you can think something similar to that level. So he's another sort of all-rounder. And I'm a big fan of Quiz Bowl Oberst, so I obviously love this art with the big chair. And this is the point in the episode where he's sitting, he's spying on Kirk through the monitor, watching him interact with the the Reyna android that he's created. So
gorgeous art, wonderful.
It's fantastic.
I love we all love props in it, and the chair is just fantastic. Crew sitting on chairs, or crew with chairs collection, definitely.
I mean, how many just stand there with like their arm out, or they're holding a weapon, or it's like it gets to be a little boring after a while. I love when they do something a little bit different, and it doesn't hurt that the detailing is
something that is evocative. One might say
it's evocative.
It's evocative.
It's all over me.
So, this is a great crew. I wanted. I guess we touched on it earlier. You have Hallway Sahil and wheelchair-bound Mark Jameson as top 5 Voyagers. But a man who's lived for 6,000 years under 1,000 different aliases, including the greatest artists and historians of all time, is like Voyage 80-ish. I don't know. I wish just one. I guess they did it with Gary 7. I wish just once they would nail these crew and give them the power they deserve.
A man in a fencing costume, number 1 Voyager. At least Braxton kind of felt right to be number 1 Voyager when he was. I think he's like shuffling.
He's from the future.
He's from the future. He travels around. Well, no, literally a Voyager in Voyager. Like that makes sense. But it's getting bloody ridiculous now. Okay, speaking of Jameson, Admiral Mark Jameson was in last week's Tuesday pack, so if you missed it, hard luck, he's not here anymore. You'll have to wait for retrieval. Sucks to be you. But he was Voyage rank number 5. Sorry. I didn't pull for him. Auto, did you repeat your 55 packs going for Fencing Picard? What did you do?
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to say that I have started a ban on 6-packs. Not because of Fencing Picard, but
I've heard this
because
before.
a friend of mine... No, a friend of mine said, it's doing bad things to their psyche. And I agreed with him, so I said, all right, buddy, we'll do the Dylan, you son of a bitch pact. And so we've agreed to no more 6-packs. And they offer a lot of different deals between in the 490s and the recaps and stuff. So I think that's fine. But we made this pact after Jameson. So yes, I do have him. This, by the way, I want to circle back around later. I know we forgot to talk about the LTO attached to Flint because I think our viewers might be interested in that. So this is an episode. It's a little bit cheesy, but I know
awful. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not. It's Benjamin Button basically. And I know Garrick likes it. And it is Michael Pataki adjacent. So the guy from TOS who said, the Enterprise should be hauled away as garbage. He reprises his role as the bad guy in this episode, and he is just as over the top as he was. He's pointing at Picard, and he's talking like this. And he's a cartoon
also
villain.
Dressed like he belongs in Demolition Man.
Yeah. He's got the prison jumpsuit on. So
I think we get Simon Phoenix in the game.
So they picked an old guy in a wheelchair as a top Voyager in the game. Can someone explain that to me?
I suppose he does voyage back through his own body's life cycle, I suppose. That's the justification.
I mean, previous to his life, he could have been an intrepid Voyager. He was pioneering Starfleet as he came through into like the 24th century. There's implications of his past in his voyage score, but as he stands as present, it's a bit bizarre.
Time caught up with Admiral Jameson as he confronted Karnas while negotiating a hostage situation. I kind of like that. I like the phrase "time caught up with Jameson." Oh, so I'm sorry. Quick TLDR of the episode. He's an old guy who gets asked. So there's a prisoner hostage situation.
No, can I correct you? He's a young guy in very bad old makeup.
That's true. Yeah, if you want to go back and watch, this is.
He does have Professor X's wheelchair. He stole it.
He's got like the underbite. He's got. I'm really old now, so I gotta talk like that. And then suddenly he's young and like, yeah, I'm cool. He's
just swaggering around the bridge like he's got a big dick, and I'm like, bro, you look like your balls haven't dropped yet.
I think this is season 1, episode 16. So
yeah,
it's not the smoothest of episodes. But
You can't say
yeah,
season 1, episode 16 and be that specific when you say I think.
Well, because I watched it recently.
It's episode 14.
Look, I don't know what I had for breakfast, but I can tell you what traits this crew should have.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I recall reading that at some point in the writing of this episode, this was meant to be Kirk. And the idea was that they were going to go back to the planet from this a private little war, I think it was, where Kirk gave out the weapons so that they would be on an even keel with the Klingon supplied natives, and it would be following up on the repercussions of that episode. I don't know if I imagined that.
That would make sense if because the original lot of season 1 TNG was Phase 2 scripts, wasn't it? So a lot of the stuff was originally going to be Star Trek Phase 2 in the 70s, got pushed back and moved into TNG. So that would kind of make sense.
It's essentially the same story as that episode.
Yeah.
The TTLDR, there's a hostage situation. The guy asked for Jameson because he negotiated it years ago. Turns out he gave them the weapons he wanted, which broke up the original hostage situation. He thought he'd do it again. And Jameson, because he's old at this age, takes a de-aging drug so he can meet the evil Karnas on an even footing. So he Benjamin Buttons his way into young age by the end of the episode, but the drugs destroy his heart and he ends up dying at the feet of his adversaries. So, it's not a great episode. Yeah, there's a couple of redeeming qualities. Stewart, of course, is good in it, as he is in everything, but...
Phasers set to kill. Yes, Mr. Data, I have heard the sound before.
I just can't imagine this being a top Voyager. Like, they could have given him Gauntlet because he's taken this drug to face his opponent one-on-one. That would be great Gauntlet theming. They could have done a ship ability because he's in his own personal little Winnebago.
Oh, please make him a ship. Please let me fly Jameson through space and kill the Kraken.
I don't know how they came up with it.
No, Jameson strike floating in midair, and then it does the Discovery mycelial drive, just like flip.
Dude, you can tell this is 87 because he's got Winnebago wood paneling on the side of his wheelchair.
I bet there are some sick speakers in there. He's got a sound system rigged up, hasn't he? Just a couple of little decks come out. He's like, yeah.
No. What you're missing is he actually has little wheels and they're little lowriders, so he just goes and he starts like bouncing on one end.
So for the stats,
sorry.
For the stats fanatic, this is 3 top 5 Voyagers in 2 weeks, and they're all Command Ipsoc. So
yeah, this is a bit of an odd one to me.
It's the best of times. It's the worst of times.
You could have given him a med tertiary for the de-aging drug.
Yeah, would have made things better. If you look at the mega, you compete barely anything in the event, you get Sahil, and that's all you need. It's still better than this guy.
They could have given Fenton Picard a little bit of science, and they gave him the astrophysicist trait for Pete's sake. He's a scientist at heart. They could have given Sahil engineering for keeping the communications post running for 40 years. Like, they're just kind of printing these. You'll buy him anyway because he's got the numbers. So
I feel like it's just like a case of, look, here's the one that everyone can have, and here's the one that's for fan favorites, and here's the one that people want for the stats wars. And it's like, it's a really weird way to divvy them up, especially considering the fact that there's a certain kind of player that can have all 3.
Jameson and Fenton Picard, but no, Fenton Picard is he season 1 or 2? No, he's season 2, so early TNG. Sorry,
I'm sorry, you don't know the episode precisely. What kind of fake fan are you, Captain?
I'm the best fake fan there is. I'll have you know.
Noted most influential player in the history of the game.
Who's that then?
Stars and Garters.
Hey,
yes, he's had a collection named after him. Yeah. He had Evie Suit Worf added to the game. Whatever. When Stars says jump, WRG Ben says how high. That's where we're at.
When I say Greek,
they say auto. I haven't had a character. No, have you had? Oh, yeah. There you go.
If there's a god in heaven, we'll get shirtless, fist wrapping for boxing Chakotay. Which, by the way, was not a Photoshop, folks. Go back and look at the wonderfully chiseled abs of Robert Beltran. Have I taken the show off a cliff yet, or do we have more stuff?
I think we're pretty much there, aren't we?
Well, you wanted to talk about that Flint LTO.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I'll tell you what, you guys vamp about that. I'm going to pull the very devoted Timeline Stocks viewers.
They had a
about
LTO,
this Flint LTO
recently you can buy. They've done it with Tuesday packs before where you can purchase, I can't remember the price. I don't know. I didn't even look at it. It's like, what is it, about £10 for like a pack of 5
It's
pulls?
$10 for 5 pulls.
They previously did it for that Primal pack that introduced Protomorphosis
They've
right
done it for
around
Dealer
about
Data.
Halloween.
They had one as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
They kind of unveil it randomly at times, and I kind of wonder what the strategy is there with that. I know a few people that bought it, but I can't see why.
For Flint, he's good enough, I could see.
Yeah. I mean, I tried to pull from him. I put 10 packs into him, and I sort of set myself, I'm going to do 10 packs, and I didn't get him, but...
They do make a point of pointing out that they do make a point of pointing out, hey, it's the usual cost is like, a 3250 dilithium, so you're technically making...
Did you say best value?
No, I didn't say that. You said that.
Right, a quick pull up in chat, let us know. I mean, you're essentially buying what, like 3,300 dilithium for $10. So
yeah.
If it was there for the fencing Picard, the number 1 Voyager LTO, I probably would have done that. It does save you a little bit of dilithium, but I think the dangerous thing is it makes you think you should chase crew in 6-packs that you really shouldn't.
And the other warning is, like, you will always see on Discords, on the forums, of people posting up, I got him in 1 pack, I got him in 3 packs, and you'll think, oh wow, I've got I've said this before, I think I've got a chance. You really don't, because we've seen on this stream from both of these people right here next to me, it takes a lot to get lucky.
It'll happen to you eventually, Idol. We'll catch it on video soon.
It will. I've been very lucky, but yeah, so...
Pendy will drop in a 6-pack, it should be Voyager number 6, and you will die on stream, and I will be vindicated.
To fragrance-free Vaseline in chat who asks, is there one specific thing I should look out for when playing this game for the first time? Tell you what, I think you are already in our Discord, which the link on screen. I have to check now.
The link
no,
is...
it's not.
No, but you type Discord like this.
It pops up in chat. Go ahead to our Discord. Ask in the Timelines channel. There's a lot of long-time players that would be happy to help you. So
we are.
There's always tips and tricks.
Definitely. We're always happy to help new players as well. There's also a main Timeline Discord as well. So any tips as well, just go and ask. So everyone's
in terms of sort of boilerplate advice, I would say, if you are starting off early in the game and you don't have a lot of crew slots, don't be afraid of airlocking 4-star crew. They will come back.
Oh yeah.
Don't stress if you can't compete in events to be starting off, because it's going to be tricky to try and compete. Don't aim for golds. Just try and complete as much of the thresholds as you can.
It takes a while. It's a long burn. It's a long burn to spin up.
Don't stress. Find a good fleet. Join a Discord. Ask people there. They will know better than us in some instances.
The best advice is to tune into Timelines Talks every Wednesday, where we're going to tell you if the new crew are worth going for or if they're airlock fodder.
Yeah. The early game, I missed from starting a few alts. I missed that early game. The early game is exciting because you're discovering everything for kind of the first time, and you're working through the galaxy map. It's not until you're grizzled veterans like us and you kind of get a bit jaded and you're looking at new, like oh my god, they're only Voyage rank number 43. That's trash shit. Whereas you're looking at them going, oh my god, that's better than anything else I've got ever.
The game is very forgiving in that there's very few things you can do to hurt your progress. I guess airlogging good crew would be the only thing you can do.
Yeah.
Everything else, every other decision you make is progress of a sort.
Yeah.
It may not be optimal, but it doesn't really matter because you're making progress on your roster. For our podcast listeners, do you like the 5 Tuesday pack pulls for $10? 64% say I'm not touching 6-packs. Hey, we've taught you guys well. 36% say I like the idea of the discounted pulls.
So just quick new person advice with dilithium. Dilithium is the premium currency. Buy your shuttles
premium
first.
number one.
The premium number one exclusive currency in all of time.
Shuttle first.
Buy your shuttles first. So you get 3 to 4 shuttles. You start off with 2, get 3, you get 4. Buy them first, and then anything else, whatever you like, because you need those essentially. But
can you imagine
wait a while before you start chasing crew with dilithium? Wait a while if you ever do it. If you ever do it.
We should do like a new player stream and pretend like we're not massive degenerate whales who buy every 6-pack that comes out.
I don't think we can. I don't know.
You think we can pull that off?
I think that's possible. We should could we pretend to be new? No, that's no. I can't even entertain the thought. On that note, I believe.
Hold on, I just redeemed change glasses. Can I see Stevie Wonder idle back?
As I'm going to take the show out.
Nice.
With Stevie, I can actually play some Stevie Wonder on my keyboard, but it's not plugged in. I can give you a bit of I Wish if you like.
What
Superstition.
about Jungle
please.
Fever? No, it's most romantic.
Sorry.
Collection.
What about Jungle Fever?
Jungle Fever, Jesus. Real nice synthy bass lines in that, yeah. On that note,
We love you guys. Have a happy holidays, a Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the time with your family, and don't do objective events if they take time away from opening presents.
Big thank you to everyone in our community that both submitted and voted on the awards. It was absolutely fantastic. So thank you to everyone who put up with my spamming the everyone tag every day, reminding you to vote. So, but actually, fantastic turnout. No one objected. So that was absolutely fantastic. And thank you for everyone putting in their submissions for the award show. It's been a good amount of fun setting this up. So this is every year. We're the second year we've done this, and if we are still going next year, we will endeavour to do a third one. So thank you to everyone.
I didn't think we'd make it to this year. I'm like, let's do one in May because there's no way in hell we're making it to the end of 2021.
We will be back on January the 12th for episode 60 of Timelines Talks. We made it to 60 in the year and a half that we're going for, heading up for 2 years if we make it to May, which I'm sure we will.
Can I petition that if we get to episode 69, we just call it nice?
There's no other option.
No, we're going to be talking about Navaar. We're going to be talking about... No, but let's not go down that road.
Decon gel variants, yes.
Yeah, yes. This is. Do you know, actually, if WRG can time the Romantic Collection to come out just on episode 69, I will never quit this game. Like, that will be perfect. I will never stop playing.
Like you were going to quit anyway, you degenerate.
I tried once, it didn't work. On that note, yeah, we'll see you January the 12th. We have potentially a Star Trek Adventures stream coming on early January as well. We just got to work out a couple of dates.
The 8th, I think, is what we're shooting for.
Yeah, the 8th, potentially. I'm probably going to stream some random games over the time as well. I think I want to try and do a What the Dub session as well, Star Trek What the Dub. So I'm going to throw some dates to these guys. I think Big's interested in We'll do some of that. We'll throw some dates out there. Soon come. We'll still be doing some fun things, but the actual next official Timelines Talks is January the 12th. And from myself, from Auto, from Stars, have a Merry Christmas, have a Happy New Year, and we will see you next year. Ta-ra.
Ta-ra.